It's time for Oskaloosa Indians football on the No Coast Network. Brought to you by Bank Iowa, Mahaska Drug, William Penn University, Fairway, Raymond James Financial Services, Roxburt's Decorating Center, Oskaloosa Vision Center, Swim Sports Awards and Screen Printing, Hawkeye Real Estate, Cloud Valve Company, Robert Auld Investments, Mahaska, Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, Penn Central Mall, Kelly Style Insurance, Oskaloosa Area Chamber and Development Group, Pedrito Orthodontics, and Pella Printing. Oskaloosa Indians football starts now on the No Coast Network.
Welcome in. We are live from Mount Pleasant football field, Evans Field. We're not at the high school. This is a little bit more centrally located in town. But Emery Sunger and Doug DeCock with you all the same. We are live with our audio on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN and RadioKMZN.com. And, of course, we will have live video uploaded to both MCG Channel 7 as well as RadioKMZN.com after the game goes final. Some internet concerns here in Mount Pleasant have not allowed us to necessarily do the live video, but we will have an archived video for you coming up either at the end of today or by tomorrow. Doug, we're sitting here, and this game is a little bit bigger than I think this game was last year. Both Mount Pleasant and Oskaloosa, it wasn't until late in the season Oskaloosa was really like, hey, we can make the playoffs right now. Mount Pleasant never really got into that point. Right now, both of these teams are saying, hey, if we're going to make the playoffs, we need to win this game, especially Mount Pleasant knowing they lost by just 2 points to Washington. A second district loss without even playing Solon yet, that would really put maybe the nail in the coffin for them if they picked up an L here. Now, Oskaloosa has a little bit more room to work with because they did win their first district matchup coming up against 58-14 win over Fort Madison last week to get them off to a good start. But they still have Washington and Solon left this season. It would go a long ways to get a win here. This is a big matchup to keep these teams alive in the playoff hunt. Absolutely. This is a huge matchup for this early in the year, and it doesn't involve Washington or Solon. So I think you hit all the points right there and broke it down. Mount Pleasant, this is kind of a must-win for Mount Pleasant. I think Oskaloosa, it's not a must-win for them, but if they could win tonight, they really enhance their chances of making the playoffs this year and will at least be in the playoff hunt all the way through the year the way things are shaking out. If the Indians win tonight, we're basically down to a 3-team race for 2 spots, and then there is a wild card in a 3A playoff chase. Yeah, and that's really important here because in case you do lose twice, if you win all of the games that you've won by 17 or more points, that puts you in really good shape to potentially steal one of those wild card berths and still get into the playoffs, which is the ultimate goal. We'll take our first break of the evening, and when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the important numbers, where these teams have been so far this season. Both enter at 2-1 on the year, but this is a massive game, as mentioned, with playoff implications already here in week number 4. We'll be back with more Oskaloosa football as they're about to take on Mount Pleasant in about 26 minutes right here live on the No Coast Network.
Dreams start early, illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in today.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real.
You have the opportunity to participate in activities.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class.
I am a leader.
I am a trailblazer.
I'm proud to be a statesman.
Our roots are here in the middle of America, where humble beginnings can grow into great opportunities. where hard work and high standards are the key ingredients to success, where honesty and integrity matter. We're proud of our roots, proud to be a part of a community that shares our values, and grateful to our customers for giving us the opportunity to grow.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
Experience the Bruxforts difference. We aim to provide you with the best value and better service than can be found anywhere else. After 36 years, we're still as committed to our customers and our community as the day we first opened our doors. Please stop in and give us a chance to prove how important our customers are to us.
Oskaloosa football on the air on the No Coast Network. We're 6 minutes past the top of the 7 o'clock hour here on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN. We appreciate you for joining us. Once again, if you're looking for a live video broadcast, we won't have it live for you this week. Some internet concerns here in Mount Pleasant have allowed it. They've been great to us, allowing us to bring all of our equipment. We just couldn't get a significant internet signal kind of figured out before we got here, so we just wanted to roll with the radio broadcast live. We'll have the video, which could be a very entertaining game here, live to check out, live to tape with our audio as well here tonight. So be sure to check that out tomorrow when that gets uploaded. Let's go ahead and talk about these teams a little bit more in depth. Obviously, when you are an Oskaloosa Indian supporter, you made the playoffs in 2016, Doug, but that doesn't mean that that's good enough for you. You want to make it in 2017 as well, and kind of the roadmap is you got to win this game. You got to get into that Washington game with just the loss to Solon in district play, because you feel like Solon's going to beat everybody. That's not going to hurt you as much, but you have to beat everybody else. But to give yourself even a good chance, you have to make it to that Washington game unbeaten in district play outside of the Solon game. So for you, before we get into stats, what is the number one key for Oskaloosa in this particular game if they want to come out here and feel confident that they're going to win this game?
Well, I think before the game, the key was to stop Mount Pleasant's running game. And Brody, I'm not sure how you... McGackey. But we have an injury update. Brody McGackey, Mount Pleasant's fine tailback, is out tonight. And that is really going to hurt the Panthers' running game. So look for them to pass a little more. What's the key? You know me. Let's improve on penalties. Let's clean things up, play our game, and I think we'll be all right. Injuries are a big part of tonight's game. Oskaloosa lost another lineman this week in Nick Coots, so he'll be replaced by Nathan Lobrecht, I think, is going to fill in for him. So, you know, we're without four starters, I think, but we do get DJ Miles back tonight. And Tanner's going to be out there tonight. He got dinged up a little bit last week, but was able to pass concussion protocol, and he will be ready to go tonight. So Jared Cruz has got a little bit of a problem with a Achilles tendon. We'll see how he is. He sat out a lot last week. And then,
he didn't play a snap of offense, I don't think. He was just out there defensively for the most part.
Yeah, so the injuries are really hitting this Oskaloosa team. But as I mentioned to you off the air there, my kids came home one day, and I was like, so I guess heard we lost the lineman. They're like, whatever, we got to move on. It's next guy in. And I think they really have that attitude now. They've lost so many players. They're just like, just put another guy in there. He'll do the job, and we'll just keep moving on. So that's a good attitude to have. Mount Pleasant, this is going to be their first game without their star.
Yeah, a big-time player in McGackey. We'll get to his numbers in a second. A laundry list of Oskaloosa players who are out. You talked about Nick Coots, Tucker Nunakoven, Vincent Ramirez, Isaac Schultz, who likely would have gotten some level of secondary time so far this season, but he's out. That sophomore protecting some precautionary issues as well, and that's just a few of the players that Oskaloosa is missing, and that doesn't even count the guys that are semi-banged up. So the guys who are going to pick up the slack, the Cole Henrys offensively. You might see Nick Dykstra a little bit offensively. Dylan Van Leuven, we saw an awful lot of receiver. Alex Chapman's going to get a lot of looks his way offensively. Defensively for Oskaloosa, it's a matter of Keaton DeCock, Jaden Van Rukel, making sure that he makes plays in the secondary, and then whoever's opposite in that corner position throughout the night. It's going to be Calvin Silvers to start the night, but Alex Young on one side, if you just have a good corner performance on the other side, and we saw that last week with Silvers and whoever that was getting thrown out there, really important just to make sure that there's not an easy target for the passing game of Zach Beeson. In 3 games this year, Zach Beeson, the Mount Pleasant quarterback, has a 62.3% completion rate, 48 of 77. So they have not been shy about throwing it. And he's thrown for 631 yards in 3 games, which is very impressive, 13.1 yards per completion. But the problem for him has been interceptions, 3 touchdowns and 4 picks. He has thrown a couple of touchdowns to big-time players, but the number 1 receiver has been Brody McGackey. 17 catches of the 48 completions for 236 yards, a big play threat, and he has one of the touchdowns. And he also had 3 rushing touchdowns, averaging over 6 yards per carry. So he's in a knee brace walking around just with his jersey and some shorts on out there. So we know he is not playing tonight. That is a big development for Mount Pleasant as they look to try to find a way to win this particular ball game. Statistically for Oskaloosa on the other side, we finally saw Seth Howard open it up a little bit, and his passing numbers kind of on the rise. And I think a lot of that has to do with, first off, Alex Chapman being a really good go-to guy. Just when you need something to happen, he finds himself pretty much open whenever he wants in the slot, whenever Howard can find it. But also the emergence of Cole Henry as an outside threat, even with the absence of Jared Cruz on the outside last week. Yeah, and in our memo from Coach Jenkins, he mentioned that Mount Pleasant will like to come up, try to lock you up man-to-man. So Oskaloosa hit a couple huge plays last year against them down the seam. So that's something to look for tonight, like as you mentioned with Chapman or Tanner DeCock. Also, one last thing on their offense. They do have another offensive weapon other than McGackey, and that's their tight end, number 88, Kieran Cohorst. He hurt us last year. What he'll do is he'll lock up like he's going to block, and then he'll slip out into the flats, or he'll sit down in the middle, and he'll be a target. Look for Mount Pleasant to try to go more vertical tonight. Their running back was their main pass receiver. He's out. They probably ran a lot of swing passes and short passes to him. Look for him to really zone in on number 88 tonight and to move the ball downfield. Jaden Van Rukel on Oskaloosa side looks good. He was banged up, had a bad arm with all bruised up. He's feeling much better, and that's a good sign for our safety. He will probably be the one that's looking at number 88 tonight most of the time. Yeah, and Cohorst, 10 catches so far this year, 140 yards. That's 14 yards a catch, and he does have 1 touchdown receiving. On the side of just who these teams have played to get here, you're looking at Oskaloosa, the 35-7 loss to Pella, who did lose the next week to Dallas Center Grimes, but still a top 10 team. They're actually ranked 7th this week in the Radio Iowa poll. Grinnell on the road, a big 41-0 win, like they should have. Oskaloosa gets their first win a couple weeks ago. And then last week at home against Fort Madison, a Star District play, an outstanding 58-14 win. So the penalties really are the big negative. For the most part, though, Oskaloosa performed very well on the field last week against the Bloodhounds and are looking to keep that up coming into week 4 here and their second district game against Mount Pleasant. For the Panthers, they started out against a couple of opponents Oskaloosa doesn't typically see, and that is at Clear Creek Amana and at home against Mediapolis, a smaller school, in their non-district action. It was Clear Creek Amana really pushed them, 14-7 the final score, with Mount Pleasant coming out on top up there in Amana. And then in the Mediapolis game in week 2 here at home, 37-7 took care of business against them. And then at Washington last week, gave them a scare, and it was interesting. If we thought, Washington is going to be pretty securely going to win that game, but they had to come back late and get a 16-14 win, and that hurts for Mount Pleasant because they were close to pulling that upset. But at the same time, that means Mount Pleasant isn't any joke. Well, that's true. That's an eye-opener for everybody around the district. Like, whoa, look at that. I watched the film on that game, and there was an extremely controversial call on that. There was a punt that supposedly hit a Mount Pleasant player's foot. Washington downed the ball, just picked it up, gave it to the referee. Next thing you know, they give Washington the ball. It certainly did not look like it hit a Mount Pleasant player.
And so they got to feel like they got a little bit slighted down there at Washington and should have won that game.
That's tough. Always tough to swallow when that kind of stuff happens, and the officials do the best they can. But sometimes in high school, sometimes the officials try to do a little too much instead of just calling the game as the players are seeing it as well. Pretty obvious when they hand the ball to the referee that that was just a regular punt, and nobody in an orange uniform thought otherwise. But unfortunately for Mount Pleasant, it didn't go that way, so they're going to have to bounce back. And this is a must-win game for them if they want to stay in the playoff hunt, with Solon still looming for them later on this season. We'll go ahead and take another break. When Doug and I come back, we'll continue to look at some keys to the game, get you set for kickoff about 15 minutes away. Oskaloosa football taking on Mount Pleasant right here on the No Coast Network.
Swim Sports is once again open in Oskaloosa. This is Doug DeCock, the new owner of Swims. Along with Doug Swim, we are happy to be open again. Swims has a wide variety of trophies, plaques, and engraving available to Oskaloosa and the surrounding areas. We have an assortment of uniforms, socks, and belts, along with other sporting goods at the store. Swim Sports also provides a full screen printing facility for your screen printing needs. Come check out the new store at 118 A Avenue East in Oskaloosa. The two Dougs would love to see you at Swim Sports.
Providing high-quality professional eye care with a truly caring staff is what Oskaloosa Vision Center has been doing for more than 30 years. With our state-of-the-art equipment, we can provide comprehensive eye exams, prescription glasses, and contact lenses, as well as medical care like eye infection and disease treatment, emergency eye care, and pre- and post-operative aid. Newborn to adult, we have the experience to meet all your eye care needs. Oskaloosa Vision Center. Come see us today.
Hawkeye Real Estate is your one-stop source for everything real estate in Mahaska County and the surrounding area. Whether commercial, residential, or acreages, we've got you covered with the area's largest pool of real estate professionals, full-time support staff, and property management services. With over $19 million in sales volume for 2016, Hawkeye continues to be Oskaloosa's leading real estate office. Discover what thousands already know. When it's time to make a move, get the Hawkeye Edge.
Plow Valve Company of Oskaloosa is very proud of all area students involved in any school activities. They know that being involved takes dedication and hard work put forth by each student. Plow Valve Company reminds you to support our area students in the various activities that they're involved in. School activities are important in molding young people into healthy, successful adults, as they are an important part of a good community. Congratulations to all area students from Plow Valve Company in Oskaloosa.
If your savings and investments are sitting on the bench instead of meeting your goals, call Timeout to examine your investment lineup. Your game plan should include getting some investment advice from an experienced investment professional. I'm Bob Auld of Robert Auld Investments, an investment advisor with over 20 years of experience in Oskaloosa and southern Iowa. I would like to assist you with your investment strategies. Call 673-9448 or toll free at 1-800-444-AULD.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your face storm a sandcastle? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? Right now, your mouth could be tongue-bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the Dew.
At Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, we're proud to keep the Oskaloosa Indians and their fans safe and feeling good on and off the field. Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy is the expert in injury care, orthopedics, and sports rehab, with a new facility in Oskaloosa, complete with an open gym area in addition to several private treatment rooms. If pain is bugging you, come see the experts at Kinetic Edge for a free injury screen. Find out more, including why the Oskaloosa Indians trust Kinetic Edge, at kineticedgept.com.
We're about 10 minutes away from opening kickoff. Oskaloosa and Mount Pleasant, and you can see on your screen the It's an Armed Forces night they have here, and it's really awesome. We in between at halftime of the freshman game, we saw a helicopter land on a practice field behind the press box, which was awesome. And they have a lot of soldiers here that are just kind of here to help out with the promotion, something that's really, really cool here at Mount Pleasant. And it's cool that Oskaloosa gets to be a part of it. Yeah, Emory, that was it's a need. It's Armed Force or National Guard night. Yep. Speaking of the freshmen, they lost a hard-fought 26-20 game tonight, and they picked up a win on Monday night against the Centerville JV. So congratulations to them, and it's nice to see the improvement that's being made with our freshman team and starting to get more competitive. I think on another note tonight, another thing to watch for is the weather. It is mid-80s in the middle of September, and it is hot out here. Looks like it might affect the crowd a little bit. We don't have as big a crowd as usual, but it's definitely going to affect the players. I know they were drinking a lot of water and Gatorade, making sure but you can only drink so much. So that'll be something to watch, guys, cramping up and having to go out of the game. Really important also to note that this is already week 4, and if you have injuries kind of in the second half of the season, a lot harder for teams to make adjustments than it is when you have these early injuries that Oskaloosa's dealt with and have guys plugged in. It keeps you, I think, a little bit more locked in when you have been able to make some level of adjustments with important pieces early in the year than try to do it late in the season. That's kind of what we see at all levels of football. It's just really hard to stick a guy in late in the year and expect to get the same that you would have if he would have played 3 or 4 additional weeks. So you want to stay as healthy as possible, and hydration tonight will be key for that, as Doug just mentioned. We talked about keys. Penalties has been an issue for Oskaloosa really all of the season so far, all 3 games. Grinnell wasn't as bad, but Pella and Fort Madison certainly had over 100 yards of penalty yardage, which nobody ever wants to see for their team. For Oskaloosa, other than that discipline factor in, like Coach Jenkins yesterday in our interview on the Hy-Vee Homestretch said, we're calling all the penalties now in practice to make sure that the guys are getting used to, being called out for anything that they are making a mistake for. So as it stands right now, Doug, besides that, what's the one thing that this team needs to really focus on to sharpen up as we get deeper into district play? Well, and I mentioned it last week, and I'm going to mention it again this week. Positive yardage plays. Limit the amount of plays where we get no running plays, especially where we don't get any yards or we lose yards. We want to have positive yardage on I'd say 90% of our plays, preferably in a game would be a good target at least. So that's something to watch for tonight. Howard's been spreading the ball around to everybody. They've looked good. Cole Henry's really improving as a wide receiver. Something to watch. But Oskaloosa tonight can take a big step forward, and they need to if they're going to be a factor the rest of the year. Solon next week, part of homecoming. That's not an easy matchup. In fact, Oskaloosa likely going to be a solid underdog in that matchup against a Solon team that's ranked in the top 3 in pretty much every poll in the state of Iowa. Then they have Fairfield on the road, Keokuk at home. 2 teams that have not looked good in the early going so far. And then at Washington, which really very well could decide the second automatic berth for the playoffs. We'll just kind of have to see how that turns out. And then at West Burlington Notre Dame to wrap up the season. So all of that jazz comes secondary, of course, to this ball game that we're about to see here tonight. And we'll, of course, make sure you get all of the action here live on the No Coast Network. We'll take another break. When we come back, we will have the opening kickoff and let you know who's going to be out there for both teams. Also, make sure that you are set for this district contest in Class 3A District number 5. Oskaloosa at Mount Pleasant. We'll take a break and come back with more after this right here on the No Coast Network.
If you are looking for brand names close to home, then look no further than Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Penn Central Mall has a wide variety of stores for people of all ages. Find the perfect pair of silver or Vigas jeans at Maurice's. Get a pair of Oakley sunglasses from the smiling staff at Eye Care Partners. Cozy up with Ashley Furniture from Gilworth Furniture. And find that dazzling diamond from Gardner Collier Jewelry. When you're done, grab a bite to eat at Mir and Cheeto or the Pizza Ranch. It's all at Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Shop, walk, and enjoy Penn Central Mall.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
Mahaska County Ag and Rural Development is dedicated to the promotion and improvement of rural economies and to the development of both vision and leadership to enhance the quality of life in all Mahaska County. Recently designated as a home base Iowa community, Mahaska County and the city of Oskaloosa are now welcoming veterans and transitioning service members for career opportunities in the area. This also includes an incentives package created through Mahaska County Ag and Rural Development. For more information on how to support the Home Base Iowa initiative, contact Deanne DeGroot at 641-672-2591.
We love to help people with their smiles. Petrito Orthodontics of Ottumwa and Oskaloosa is all about creating beautiful smiles and increased self-esteem that lasts a lifetime. We specialize in creating individualized smiles by committing to make each visit a memorable experience. Our office is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to ensure optimum results. For help with your smile, call Petrito Orthodontics.
For over 30 years, Pella Printing has been leading the way in the print industry with quality equipment, modern facilities, and skilled staff. The Pella approach combines old world craftsmanship with today's cutting-edge technology to provide brilliant printed products at a value price. They take the time to understand clients' needs from design to pre-press to printing and delivery to build lasting relationships with their customers. Whether you need personalized graduation announcements, oversized posters and banners, marketing materials, or stationery, Pella Printing offers a broad assortment of quality printed products done with speed and precision. Pella Printing, where technology and craftsmanship meet.
MCG's new gigabit internet is here, and it's a real gig deal!
Connect all your devices, download an HD movie in 7 seconds.
Get unlimited use, no limits, no data caps, and no slowdown.
And stream a video with no buffering, ever.
Work, play, create, innovate with MCG internet.
Call to get your upgrade free for 30 days.
Buffering video, spinning wheels are over!
You deserve the best, and MCG delivers.
The Mount Pleasant Marching Band live here from Mount Pleasant, and we are just about a handful of minutes away from the opening kickoff. Thanks for joining us once again, live audio on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN. You can also check out a video replay of this in our archives. We have video taping. We just don't have enough internet connection here in Mount Pleasant to be able to give you the live video broadcast. So all that being said, football about to be played. This is an important game, obviously, for Oskaloosa, but even more importantly for a lot of people in Oskaloosa is the fact that this is certainly not the only thing that's going on. Next week, a very big week. We have homecoming. The homecoming court obviously been announced. A few football players in the mix on that. A lot of interesting names. I think Nick Ryder, Calvin Silvers,
Jared
Cruz, Alex DeYoung,
Van Ruckel,
and Jaden Van Ruckel all were the 5 guys who are in the mix to be the homecoming king. And on the Queens side, Anna Jones, Josie Bennell, Jory Vandenberg, Maggie Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Bailey Crawford.
And I can't remember the last one, but somebody.
Yep.
It's somebody. Sorry.
Well, that's right. It is homecoming week. I got a rooting interest in the Powder Puff game.
I was going to say, how's that going to work?
Actually, I don't have any interest. I got a kid on both sides coaching.
That's what I thought.
So it was interesting when they came home from practice the other night, the difference. I warned them that, sometimes gals don't know a lot about football. You got to kind of simplify it.
I was a Powder Puff coach my senior year, and let's just say everything that we had practiced went out the window after the first snap. It didn't last long. But, hey, you know what?
Fun time. That's Monday night.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
As here come the Panthers of Mount Pleasant wearing the burgundy tops and bottoms trimmed in gold without Brody McGackey, one of their best players tonight. Oskaloosa looking to try to make sure that they, of course, take advantage of that, but got to go out here and perform. That is the first thing that you want to be able to do. And That's what we're going to be looking at here. But other than that, on Tuesday night is Powder Puff Volleyball following the Oskaloosa Volleyball game at home against Newton. Wednesday, nothing, of course, a church night. And then on Thursday, the homecoming parade, which a lot of people enjoy going to and seeing all the cool things that are happening around Oskaloosa, William Penn University, as we have everything lined up for that on Thursday. No Hy-Vee home stretch this Thursday due to the homecoming parade. And then the big homecoming game against Solon, a tough matchup coming up next Friday night. So that's the next 7 days if you're an Oskaloosa fan, and that doesn't even count the William Penn home football game tomorrow. That kind of helps kickstart everything in Oskaloosa city limits. And
they do have the Queen coronation after the parade at the Old Community Stadium downtown Oskaloosa.
Yeah, you're not going to want to miss that if you are interested in community events. Everybody who is someone in Oskaloosa goes to those kind of things. So with that being said,
Jory Vandenberg also on that.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew her.
Okay.
She's a volleyball player.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with that.
I hate to miss somebody. We apologize.
We apologize. You know, we are just some dumb dudes up here that like to call sports. Other than that, though, we really like our town, Oskaloosa, of course. Doug's pretty firmly entrenched. I've heard some good old stories from Doug about his youth.
Well, one of them comes from this place right here. Our run to the state championship game in our undefeated season. The playoffs were here at Mount Pleasant, this very field, and it was cold and rainy. And we had one of the best mudders in the state in Brent Blanchard, and we were able to come in here and knock off the Panthers, and that sent us on our way to the state championship game against one of the most powerful teams ever in high school history, the Harlan Cyclones, the 1983 Cyclones. And they put it on us, but what a great year, and it all started here for the playoff run.
Yeah, that's good memories. Oskaloosa looking to have another good memory here tonight. Of course, last year it was a little lopsided score-wise, but it was played pretty tight. You were here. I was not here for that matchup last year as the captains about to meet at midfield. For Oskaloosa, the captains are Blake Van Veldhuizen, Tanner DeCock, Jared Cruz, and Alex DeYoung. On the other side for the Panthers is going to be Kieran Cohorst, who we talked about, a big play threat. Colby Potts, another senior out there. Also, Dalton Bass. And
Colin Mulford.
Colin Mulford out there as well.
Good basketball player on that Mount Pleasant team, basketball team that went undefeated, rumors have it, this summer, and will be ranked #1 in the state when basketball season starts.
You want to avoid them at all costs.
Absolutely.
They talk about putting it on somebody.
They're going to lose their big guy, but they're still going to be a team to reckon with.
Oh, yeah. They only lost the one guy from the team that beat Oski by 30 in the sub-state final. As Oski won the toss, they deferred. Mount Pleasant will receive the opening kickoff. So Second Lieutenant Nathan Rose out there. I believe he was the guy who flew in on the helicopter, but he's out there as an honorary captain with this team and got a great round of applause. So good to see. This is National Guard night. They have all sorts of stuff going on here, and it's just awesome to see. In a time in our country where it kind of gets lost in translation, I'm glad that we still have things like this to kind of bring people around, the people that protect our country and our rights.
And those guys are really needed at this time with all the natural disasters that have been going on, the flooding in the Houston and Texas area, flooding in Florida. The National Guard people step up and do the job and help out in those situations. So good night, patriotic night here in Mount Pleasant, and we're getting ready to kick off here for the Indians and the Panthers.
Oskaloosa wearing white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in maroon. They got the maroon stripe that says Indians down the side. They have, of course, the maroon helmets that have the Indian on the side. Mount Pleasant, they got an MP on their helmet that is in the stars and the stripes. With the maroon shell, they have maroon tops, maroon bottoms trimmed in gold with a gold stripe down the side of the pants. So that means 12 minutes on the clock, and we are getting set for the kickoff. Aaron Blom back to kick. Not a whole lot of wind out there right now, but Blom, of course, a big leg. Back to receive Levi Puig. And I believe he's being joined by Keegan Rich. Here is the kick. We are underway here in Mount Pleasant. Deep kick. This will go into the end zone for a touchback, and that's going to move it out to the 25-yard line for the first down of action here in Mount Pleasant.
So as we settle in here, let's watch. I look for Mount Pleasant to air it out a little bit vertically and look for number 88, Kieran Cohorst, to be the main target. Let's see how the Indians defend him. They are aware now that McGackie is out, so we'll see if that changes their defensive alignment a little bit, and they focus a little more on the passing game.
Quarterback Zach Beeson comes to the line of scrimmage. He's got 3 wide receivers, make it 4 with Cohorst in a slot to the far side. Here's the snap. Beeson rolls to his right. It's kind of an option play, but Oskaloosa reads it well and takes it away. Blake Van Veldhuizen on the stop. The other wide receivers tonight are Chase Lamb and Jordan Magnani, a couple of other familiar names if you follow that incredible basketball team they have here. Levi Puig is at 1 back position with Keegan Rich likely going to tag in at the tailback spot with McGackie on the shelf. Cohorst is the tight end. Along the line, the left tackle is Garen Crane, left guard Dalton Bass. Colin Mulford is the center, right guard Austin Buckert, and the right tackle is Keegan Cohorst.
Good job by the Indian defensive line there, Nick Dykstra, and then Blake Van Veldhuizen pursuing from the backside. Good hustle.
Here's Beeson, his first throw out into the flat. That's Cohorst. He makes the catch, almost sheds a tackle. A good job by Cole Kraber getting the tackle down there after a gain of 5, and that's the kind of open field marking that you're looking to try to pick up if you're Oskaloosa.
Well, and that was a nice throw. That was a long throw into the flats to Cohorst. He made the catch, and Kraber was able to tackle him, but they get a gain of about 5, bringing up 3rd and 3 for the Panthers.
That ball is spotted at the 27-yard line, just underway here in Mount Pleasant. Coming into the ball game is Chase Lamb, and he is replacing, I believe that is Mason Ashton, who just came off to the sideline. So 3 wide receivers to the near side, including Cohorst in the nearest slot, and then 1 to the far side. They're looking to the left. Now it's Beeson rolling out to his right, throws on the run, lofts this one up, and out of play. Just kind of got rid of it as the Indians were kind of giving him pressure, flushed him out of the pocket. The read was to that one-on-one on the outside to the left there, Doug, but Oskaloosa did a good job of forcing him out of the pocket, and Kraber in one-on-one with Cohorst. There wasn't any space for Beeson to throw the football.
Yeah, good job there by the Oskaloosa defense. The defensive line's doing a good job of keeping him contained, not letting him get outside. For those of you who are listening back in Oskaloosa, you may recognize the Lamb name. Don Lamb was a longtime Oskaloosa principal, and I'm sure that's some relative because he was from this area.
Good punt. It's going to be fair caught around the 30-yard line by Tyler Miller. Great punt that time, actually, by Chase Lamb. So right on cue, Lamb with the punt. And Oskaloosa will come out for offense the first time from their own 31-yard line. Defensively for Mount Pleasant, a lot of the same names are out there defensively, so they can be worn down. It is going to be Kieran Cohorst, Austin Buckert, Dalton Bass, and then Luke Van Nijhouse, who is going to be out in the defensive line with Levi Puig, Colby Potts, and James DeMeyer. So all but 2 guys on the front 7 are going both ways tonight. And then with McGackie out at the safety spot, we're going to be seeing Keegan Rich also tag in at a safety position. Oskaloosa comes out with 4 wide, 2 by 2. Ball on the far side of hash going from right to left with Howard in the shotgun to start things off for the Indians. He takes the snap. He's going to look into the flat. It's caught by Tanner DeCock. Tries to make a man miss, and he does. Gain of about 6. And it'll give Oskaloosa 2nd and 4. And let's see if we see some tempo here early.
Yeah, it looks like Oskaloosa might do that. Mount Pleasant likes to play soft with their defenders some. Then they'll jump up and play hard. I want to go back to the punt, and a good job by Tyler Miller, fair catching that ball and not letting it hit the ground.
Yeah, avoids any big hops. 2 by 2 again for Oskaloosa. 2nd, we'll call it 5. Howard drops back. He's looking deep to throw. Nowhere to go with it. Now he's trying to escape the pocket. Now he's running around in a circle looking like Franz Harkington out there. Makes another man miss. A flag comes down. He's going to escape the pocket, get back close to the line of scrimmage before being brought down. But that's likely going to be a hold while Howard was running around. You almost want to just see him get rid of the football instead of dancing around back there because his linemen are trying to keep him upright. And although Franz Harkington made it look cool, sometimes it's not the best thing, and I think it's going to cost the Indians 10.
And it's going to be from the spot, and Tyler Miller was wide open on a bubble to the right. He was just standing there waiting for the ball, and Howard just didn't look that way because he could have just popped the ball to Miller just like the last play on the other side, and we got 5-10 yards. We've got to be disciplined and take what they give us. If they're going to give us those little pop passes, we got to take them.
Well, that's rough. You're right, Doug. That is from the spot, and it was already about 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So we'll replay 2nd down, but after the 10-yard penalty from the spot of the hold, which is about 7 or 8 yards into the backfield, we're now sitting at 2nd, and it looks like about 24. So penalties immediately creating an issue.
And you can see now they're really playing soft. They're 10 yards off of Miller.
He's going to come in motion into the backfield. Here is a snap, and Howard dropped it, and he just kind of throws it into the air, and it's intercepted by Cohorst, and he'll run it in for a touchdown.
I'm not sure what to call that. You just can't do that. Throw the ball up like that.
I'm not sure.
Unbelievable.
I think that was going to be like a speed option to the near side with Miller, but Seth Howard just cannot panic. He dropped the snap. I mean, Noah Van Veldhuizen, the snapper, there has been a couple of disconnects there between Van Veldhuizen and Howard this season, but you just kind of would rather just see him flop on the ball than try to do anything with that play. That's just disastrous. So an interception return for a touchdown. It'll go in the book after just kind of an unwise underhanded flip. Lamb on the hold. The extra point is on the way and through the uprights by David Blancas. And the first 7 points on the board go to the Panthers. They lead at 7-0, 10-17 to go first quarter. Oski will receive the kickoff after this quick break right here on the No Coast Network.
Dreams start early. Illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
Oskaloosa, just not a smart play by Seth Howard after he dropped the snap. I don't know if it was more he dropped it or it was a low snap, but instead of just falling on it, he picks it up and just kind of, you know how the referees just kind of throw the ball to the sideline, kind of that underhanded flip? He just did that into what he thought was open space, but it was easily caught by Kieran Cohorst, the defensive end, and he rumbled into the end zone. He is a big play threat offensively. You talked about that a lot in the pregame. He's going to be a big target with McGackey out. And he actually strikes first defensively tonight with that pick six on just not a smart play by Seth Howard. And you can kind of blame the holding call there for putting Oskaloosa in bad shape as well. Oski just needs to tighten the screws here, down 7-0, less than 2 minutes into this game.
Well, they started out doing the right thing, and then all of a sudden they make a bad read. They get a holding call, and then they just throw the ball up. And now they're in a hole 7-0 to start this game.
Here's the kickoff by Blancas. It is going to be received by Miller at the 6-yard line. He's going to come right straight up the field. He crosses the 20, 25. He's got a gap, and he's across the 35 to the 36-yard line. That's why you have speed guys back there. Nunikoven and him both had a great first matchup against Pella in the special teams, and now Hill and Miller doing a fantastic job returning kicks as well. So special teams has been Oskaloosa's biggest strength, I think, for all 3 weeks this season. Now the offense needs to respond after a mistake-filled first series. They'll have 1st and 10 on the near side hash going from right to left at their own 36-yard line.
Yeah, special teams has been consistent is what I guess the way you could put it, and they've been consistently good. So been a bright spot so far.
4 wide receivers, 2 by 2. Howard in the gun. He's going to take the snap. This is going to be a handoff to Hill. He's pushing his blockers forward and lowers his head to about the 39. After week 1, where he didn't have a good game, averaged less than 2.5 yards per carry, he's really opened up some holes both in the Grinnell and Fort Madison game. A real strong runner between the tackles, but with good speed to get outside the tackles as well.
Yeah, we talked about, I mentioned before the game, want to see positive yardage. I'm okay with that. That's 3 yards. That's better than a 0 or negative gain.
Here's the snap. Howard looking to throw. A real quick hitter. Miller off his hands. Ball was actually tipped at the line of scrimmage. Coming into the backfield and getting a hand on it was James DeMeyer on a blitz. And that'll bring up 3rd and 7 from the 39-yard line. So if you're Oskaloosa now, it was much, just like you were saying, taking advantage of what was a really soft coverage in that slot position, but a little tip at the line of scrimmage, and Miller couldn't reel it in.
Well, I think they should just snap it and throw it right to him instead of even having him run downfield at all.
Here's the snap. Howard drops back. Still 4 wide receivers in a route. He's got time over the middle. Caught by Tanner DeCock across midfield to about the 45-yard line. That was just a down and in, and that is going to give Oskaloosa a 1st down on a nice pickup of about 15 yards. And with 9:35 to go first quarter, Oski down 7-0. They're into Panther territory. And once again, right back to the line of scrimmage with 4 wide receivers is Seth Howard at the Panther 46. And he'll take a quick snap, and he's looking to run right up the gut, and is going to be wrangled after a short pickup. It was Dalton Bass, the first man to get a hit, but sometimes we see Oskaloosa get to the line quickly and then look back to the sideline for a play. That time, Oskaloosa immediately took the snap.
Yeah, and a lot of times the first few possessions, they will stand up and look over the sideline. But tonight they're going right at it, which I like. They know what Mount Pleasant's going to do.
Second and about 10. Here's the snap. Howard just a straight drop, and he's going to throw it to DeCock again, and he breaks a tackle to the outside, inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line, and that's going to be more first down yardage on a pickup of about 13. Move the chains, and Tanner DeCock doing his work. That is his third catch of the game so far, and another first down for the Indians.
Well, nice throw by Howard. Just like we mentioned, that short stuff's open. Now, Mount Pleasant's eventually, I would think, going to have to tighten up. You go to Miller on the other side.
4 wide receivers again. Here's the snap. It is a bubble screen right to Miller. Miller gets a block, turns it upfield, and is going to be brought down. A nice tackle made that time on the far side by, of course, a player not on the roster that I have.
Well, that was where the read took him. Miller's got to take it up. He kind of missed the block there and might have been able to get a few more yards.
Tucker Johnson was the man on the tackle. Gain of just 1. Here's the snap and a handoff to Hill right up the middle, inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line maybe in Panther territory. 8:20 to go first quarter. 7-0 Mount Pleasant very early in this first quarter. And that'll set up a 3rd and about 6 from where they marked him. They're actually going to put him at the 29.
And the Indians are probably in 2-down territory here with 6 yards to go at the 29. So
just depends on how much you want to put on Aaron Blom's leg. Depends on how much you get probably here on 3rd down. Oskaloosa going to send 3 wide receivers to this near side. Henry by himself on the far side with 2 guys right there on him. Howard takes a snap out of the gun, looking to Henry and fires, and it's caught. Henry breaks a tackle, and he's inside the 20. And, I mean, Johnson was right there and just did not locate the football. Otherwise, that could have been an interception as well. But Tucker Johnson literally was just watching Henry, and the ball whizzed right past his head, and Henry brought it in for a first down.
Absolutely. That could have been a pick 6 the other way. But Henry, what a great job of focusing on the ball and watching it all the way in. That was not an easy catch with a guy right in front of him. First down for Oskaloosa here.
3 wide receivers to the near side, ball on the far side. Henry up at the top. Howard takes the snap, and he'll hand it off. Little sweep this direction to the near side for a Hill. He's going to gain 3 or 4, and then a flag comes in late, and we'll have to check on that.
Well, they're going to call holding on this, and this is a late holding call. These penalties are just killing us every week. We're getting holding call. That's 2 tonight now. The pitch was outside. When the runner gets outside of you and your defender starts moving to the outside, you cannot hold him even if it's inside of his pads. You got to let him go and release and go get the tackler. And we keep holding on, and that's why we're getting all these holding calls on runs to the outside and in open space.
That'll be 10 yards from the spot back to the 29-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 20. Ball on the near side hash. Oskaloosa going to come out, and they're looking at the sideline for the signal. A few coaches giving different signals. Only one of those coaches giving the real signal. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side.
Oskaloosa looks confused here.
Howard sends DeCock in motion. It's going to be a design run for him. He's going to reverse field.
Confused.
And then it's going to be Howard is trying to make something happen, and he'll be pushed out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, you could tell right away that play wasn't going to work. We had guys putting their hands up like, what are we doing here? And it was a broken play right away. So Oskaloosa shooting themselves in the foot offensively now with a 2nd and long.
2nd and 21.
There seems to be a ton of we got players holding their hands up like, what's the call? Like they're confused all of a sudden.
4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. It's Howard in the gun. He takes the snap. He drops back. He's got plenty of time. Now fires over the middle. Looking for Henry. He's got it inside the 10, and he'll fight down to about the 3-yard line. What a reliable target he's become.
Oh my, what a throw by Howard. Beautiful throw on the post route, and Henry is really turning into a good wide receiver. He catches the ball with his hands right there, and he breaks tackles. He's a tough runner once he
finishes runs. You said it earlier this season. He does not avoid contact. That is for sure. So Oski right back to the line of scrimmage, but they will look to the sideline here. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line, down 7-0 with 6:45 and counting to go first quarter. This will be a handoff. Hill right up the gut, looking to squeeze his way near the goal line. He's close. He's in. Touchdown. Oskaloosa. 3-yard run by Casey Hill. And it was treacherous at times, Doug, but Oskaloosa able to get it down the field on a very nice drive to respond to the pick six. And it's 7-6 with the extra point to follow.
Well, what a beautiful drive. Take away the penalty. But, man, powered through the ball beautifully. Receivers catching. Tanner with a couple big catches. Cole Henry continuing to impress as a wide receiver.
Aaron Blom on for the extra point. The kick on the way, and it's straight through. 6:39 left. First quarter, 7-all. Oskaloosa responds. Mount Pleasant will get it back after this quick break right here on the No Coast Network.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in.
7-all, 6:39 to go here at Evans Field in the first quarter, and it's been really up and down for Oskaloosa. 5:21 into this thing, Doug. The pick six, a couple of big penalties, but that drive as a whole, little dinks and dunks, good hands, nice deep patterns by DeCock and Cole Henry, and then a 3-yard touchdown run by Casey Hill to cap it off. You feel good about it, but at the same time, you'd like to clean up those little things that we've been talking about all through the open already. I think if you look at the penalty yards, 20 penalty yards for Oskaloosa so far in the first 5+ minutes.
You know, we've moved the ball. We got probably, 100 yards off total offense right now. Do away with the penalty and the pick six. This is a 7-0 game, and Oskaloosa looks like they could be dominating tonight, but instead we got a tie ball game. So, yeah, if you're an Indian fan, you're happy about that. The offense dinked and dunked her right down the field, so good drive.
Blom to tee it up. Blom approaches the football and kicks it away. This is going to go right straight down the pipe into the end zone for another touchback. I'm telling you, this guy is going to give it a run for the state touchback lead.
And I love that, too, because you don't even have to worry about anybody breaking tackles or anything.
He's got 20 kickoffs this year. 11 of them are touchbacks, So
let's see if the Indian defense can continue. I think the first time Mount Pleasant was 3 and out.
Yep,
so.
the score came on a pick six. So the Mount Pleasant offense really yet to be seen for the most part. And after the 3 and out, they'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line here in high school ball. That's where we start on the touchback. We're going to come out of the huddle. Late addition into the game is
Mount
Mason
Pleasant
Ashton.
now looks confused.
3 wide receivers near side, 1 to the far side. 1st and 10, Beeson in the gun, takes a snap, looking to throw, under pressure, fires over the middle, nearly intercepted. Good coverage by Cole Kraber. And white jerseys are all over everybody in Burgundy, and the pass rush, that's the 3rd time that they have forced Beeson either to throw on the run or look very uncomfortable back there.
Yeah, Emery, I was watching Cohorst on that play. Jaden Van Rukel picked him up, but if he sits down at about the 10-yard mark, he's open. He was open. Jaden's got to maybe glue on to him a little bit quicker because he would have been open on that play.
3 wide receivers now to the far side. 2nd and 10. Beeson in the gun once more. Sends a man in motion. He takes the snap. He's going to hand it to the man in motion. And coming this way, Jordan Magnani now turns it upfield, trying to break some tackles across the 25 to about the 26 before a gaggle of Indians helps take him down. Kraber in there along with Calvin Silvers. And with 6:15 to go first quarter, will bring up 3rd and 3.5, maybe 4. And Oskaloosa, another opportunity here to get off the field.
Well, Tanner read that. Tanner DeCock read that from his middle linebacker spot. Came out at a good angle, almost made the tackle, forced the runner back inside to get some help. And he did a good job there. He didn't get the tackle, but he read the play.
7-all, Oskaloosa and Mount Pleasant tied, 2-2, 4 wide receivers in the game. Beeson takes a snap, looking for a short pass, looking for Magnani, and it's just out of his reach. Good defense. DeYoung had switched over to this side of the field and was able to help break up the pass. And once again, 3 and out, and that'll bring in Lamb to kick it away.
And Oskaloosa's defense is very complicated. Coach Jenkins believes in if the guys are smart enough to do some things, he makes it look like man coverage, and then they shift off and they drop into a zone, and that's exactly what they did, and DeYoung was right there.
Chase Lamb back to punt it away, standing at his own 15-yard line. Back to receive, standing at his own 36 is Tyler Miller. Here is the punt. Another good one from Lamb. Miller will catch this with no fair catch across the 40. He breaks another tackle, but a flag down, another flag down. Those are probably the same foul. It was a gain of about 9 on the return, but we'll check on the penalty as DeYoung and Keaton DeCock were out trying to block as gunners, and I think they're going to get DeYoung here on the return.
We're going to have 30 yards already in the barely over halfway through the first period. This is I don't know what to say about it.
I think therapy.
Oh my gosh.
They're going to say block in the back, and it's going to be a spot foul from where DeYoung made the contact. So that is going to be where the foul will be.
We've got to be smarter than that. I mean, when you're in the wide open field like that, you can't do that.
It'll spot it 15 yards away from where it would have been, 10 yards from the spot, which was marked at the 40. Oskaloosa's offense will have 70 yards to work with. 5:39 remaining here in this first quarter at Evans Field in Mount Pleasant. Oski and Mount Pleasant tied at 7. We thank you for joining us here as we near the top of the 8 o'clock hour. 4 wide receivers for Oskaloosa from their own 30, ball right in the middle of the field. Here's the snap. The handoff to Casey Hill breaks the first tackle. Still fighting for yardage, and the ball maybe squirted out here. It did. Mount Pleasant saying they have it, but do they? They do.
Oh, boy.
So Hill loses it somewhere in that pile. Mount Pleasant comes out with it.
Oskaloosa just killing themselves.
Keegan Cohorst, the younger of the two Cohorsts, came out of there with the football, and it's going to be a Mount Pleasant ball at the Oskaloosa 33. So, Doug, you talk about penalties. Turnovers haven't been that big of an issue for Oskaloosa this year, but right here, they're killing them.
Well, we're going for the full Monty tonight. We're going for penalties and turnovers, and, man, our defense has got to keep playing good here.
4 wide receivers for Beeson. He takes the snap, a low snap. He's looking to throw. He's got more time than he's had all night. Fires it deep, but just not on the same timing with his receiver out there, Mason Ashton, who was kind of doing an in and then out and up, trying to get loose out there against DeCock, and the timing just wasn't there, although that was the first time Beeson's had any time to throw.
Yeah, Oskaloosa came on a blitz with Tanner DeCock up the middle, and he wasn't able to get home. Beeson had a lot of time to throw, just overthrew his man. Keaton had pretty decent coverage on him out there on the right side.
2nd and 10. Ball spotted at the far side hash, going from left to right are the Panthers now at the Oskaloosa 33 after the fumble recovery. They have an H-back, a single back, 3 wide receivers. The snap, it will be a fake handoff, and Beeson will keep it. Makes the first couple of guys miss. He's got a first down. Breaks another tackle inside the 20, and he's going to be down to about the 16-yard line before Van Ruckel puts him on the ground. And that'll be the first down offensively for Mount Pleasant in this game.
Missed tackles. We got to make tackles there. We just stopped them for about a 2-yard gain. So really the first good offensive play that Mount Pleasant's had in the first quarter, and they're looking to take the lead here.
Little misdirection that time. They hadn't really shown that at all. Of course, the back, Levi Puig, not who we usually see back there. So with McGackie on the shelf, that's who they're going to be faking it to in those kind of situations. 3 wide receivers and an H-back again. Here's the snap. This will be a handoff to Puig. Puig trying to get to the outside, turns it upfield inside the 10, and will be brought down from there about a yard shy of the first down. A little bit of shiftiness there, and Mount Pleasant looking to try to punch this thing in there. It'll be 2nd, maybe 2. Ball spotted inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line.
Well, they brought Tanner DeCock on a blitz again on the right side, and he wasn't able to get through there, and they was able to bow it out in between just to his right and gain good yards, 8 yards on first down. So Mount Pleasant having some success running the ball right now.
They're going to go 2nd and 2, spread it out with 2 backs and 3 wide receivers, 2 to the near side. That's the long side of the field. Ball on the far side hash. This will be Puig right up the middle. Nothing there this time. Dykstra in on the stop, along with Big Biscuits, Blake Van Veldhuizen. They'll actually lose a yard, and it'll be 3rd and 3.5 maybe from the 9-yard line. And once again, this defense trying to stand tall here, this time in the red zone with 4:10 to go, first quarter tied at 7.
Well, big play by Big Biscuit there to drop him for a 1.5 yard loss. Brings up a 3rd and a long 3. I look for Mount Pleasant to go back to Beeson running that play off the right side that they gained a bunch of yards on a little bit ago.
Yeah, and that's the long side of the field, and the ball on the far side hash. And he's got 1 back with him and 4 wide receivers. 2 to each side, 3rd and 3. Beeson takes a snap looking to throw under pressure, fires it toward the end zone, knocked down. Excellent coverage by who else? Sparky Alex DeYoung breaking up what could have been a touchdown to Chase Lamb. And that brings up 4th and about 3. And it looks like they're going to send David Blancas out to attempt what would be, roughly, we'll see where they mark the holder here.
30-yarder.
Actually, it's going to be closer to about 26 yards.
26.
Ball going on the left hash here for Blancas, and this can kind of be a rough spot for a lot of teams in their kicking game. We'll see what happens here.
Well, good job by the defense, especially Sparky on that dive, knocking the ball down. That is Alex DeYoung, for those of you who don't know that.
Lamb on the hold. The kick from Blancas is up.
No good.
And he missed it to the left. So Oskaloosa's defense does come through and get themselves off the field with nothing across. It's 7-all with 3:41 to go, and the Indian offense gets another crack at it. And here's the interesting thing, Doug. They actually gain field position because the ball comes out to the 20.
Yeah, that usually works in our favor going the other way, but a good point. So
what a terrible rule. Like, that has got to be the worst rule in high school football.
But if you're Oskaloosa, you got to take a deep breath here and go, wow, did we dodge a bullet? I mean, you could be down 14-7 to a team that's really showed nothing on offense. So
just one first down and 3 possessions.
Yeah.
3:41 to go first quarter, tied at 7. Oski's offense out there starting from their own 20, 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side, going from right to left. Howard, and there's going to be a little bit of a delay on the snap, and that's going to result in a false start, I believe.
Yeah, our left guard was leaning back on that play. It was going to be a pass play. You know, sometimes there's no count. I don't know how you can be moving. It's a silent count. So you move when the defense moves, basically.
4 wide receivers, once again, same formation, 1st and 15 from their own 15-yard line. In the gun, here's the snap to Howard. Howard looking to throw, dumps it to DeCock, who makes the catch at about the 19. That'll be a gain of about 4. And that short stuff is going to be there. It's just a matter of trying to hit it and then maybe taking a shot when they start to make an adjustment.
Well, and that was a nice snap by Noah. You know, we've talked about sometimes, but that snap was beautiful. It was about letter high. It was firm, got to the quarterback, and that's important tonight, that we get good snaps.
2nd and 11. Howard fakes the quick throw. Now goes down the field and just out of the reach. There was good coverage on that far side. He was looking for Chapman and trying to see who that was in coverage out there, but that was excellent coverage by Mount Pleasant. Howard, that was exactly what we were looking for, the fake to the shorty and see if the man came wide open down the field. I think that was a great throw, making sure that it was going to be Chapman or nobody who makes the catch.
Yeah, it was. You just got to put a little bit of air under it. Seth looked like he threw more of a line drive there. He's got to put some air under it, give his guy a chance to run under it and make a play there.
I believe that was Jake Lowe out there in coverage. So 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 11 from their own 19. Howard takes the snap. He's looking to throw again. He's got time over the middle through the hands on a high throw on a well-covered Tyler Miller. On the coverage that time was Colby Potts, and this is going to be a 4th down for Oskaloosa, and Mount Pleasant's defense showing off their coverage ability on throws even across the middle.
Well, I'm not sure why Seth is looking to throw a 3-yard out on 4th and 12. That's
3rd and 12.
Or 3rd and 12. That's a time you want to take a shot down the field. That's just not very smart right there, trying to throw that ball on that short route.
Unless he's wide open, then a guy like that could get loose, but he was not. It was great coverage by Potts, shadowing him, and now 2 men are back deep to receive. It is Puig and Keegan Rich, and it looks as though Oski's going to burn a timeout. I don't know if the personnel just got mixed up, whatever it was. It's the first of 3 timeouts Oskaloosa's used. 3:04 to go first quarter. 7-7. Mount Pleasant about to receive an Oski punt after this quick break right here on the No Coast Network.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real.
You have the opportunity to participate in activities.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class.
I am a leader.
I am a trailblazer.
I'm proud to be a statesman.
Oskaloosa burns a timeout. Special teams out there for a punt. Van Rukel puts his right boot to it. This one a little wobbly kick that bounces and will not be returned. It'll get out to about midfield before it will be down by Oskaloosa. It'll actually be at their 49-yard line. That's where Mount Pleasant's offense will take over. But the good news for the Indians is the fact that the defense has looked very strong so far tonight with 2:54 left first quarter, tied at 7.
Well, and yet they have to be. This is the third possession. Well, the one on the pick six, but third possession on our side of the field. We keep, shooting ourselves in the foot.
And the defense has been out there a lot because they had 2 3-and-outs on the other side of the field on top of that. So here Mount Pleasant looking to try to get something going offensively in a tie game. 7-7, just under 3 minutes to play first quarter. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Beeson takes the snap, looking to throw. Under pressure from Van Veldhuizen. They were trying to set up a screen but could not connect. And Beeson just cannot get comfortable back there. Oskaloosa's pass rush has been there time and time again.
Well, Blake Van Veldhuizen coming hard up the middle, and you've got to double team him. But Kenny Satimi kind of sniffed that little screen pass out and was right by the back and kind of bothered him a little bit on the play there. But Van Veldhuizen is wreaking havoc right now with their front line.
2nd and 10 at the Oskaloosa 49 ball on the near side hash, going from left to right are the Panthers. 2 wide receivers to each side. Little blitz for the Indians. Beeson fakes the throw, now fires over the middle, caught by Ashton. Flag in the backfield. Ashton's going to break a tackle, and he's going to go the distance, but
we're going to get a hold, hopefully, on Mount Pleasant.
We'll see what the flag is. The referee threw it himself, and it will be holding on Mount Pleasant. So
we got a break, folks. Oskaloosa gets a huge break.
That pump fake allowed Ashton to get himself open, and it was a good throw by Beeson, but he had a little extra time from a little extra help on an infraction, which will move it. And I think that's 10 yards from the spot, which is 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So it'll kind of be the exact same thing Oskaloosa had the previous, or their first drive when they had this happen. They didn't have a big play at the end of it, but certainly is going to push this drive back. It'll bring up a 2nd and, I believe, 26.
Yeah, it's going to be a long ways, but I'll tell you what, Fort Madison hit that same route against us last week. So they watched the film. When they got time to bring the guy all the way across the field, we are not picking it up with our backside safety or linebackers and recognizing the guy coming across the field from the other side. We're sitting in a zone, and then he catches it in the middle, and he outruns us to the sideline.
2nd and 26 indeed is the down with 2:40 to go first quarter, tied at 7. Ball on Mount Pleasant's own 35 now. Have to get to the Oskaloosa 39-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. The snap, a little speed option, a pitch out there to Puig. Puig nowhere to go, and he's going to be swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by Oskaloosa, and a great job by Hill on that far side, forcing him back inside.
Yeah, good job by Hill. Oskaloosa just with a jailbreak on the line there. They had all 4 guys coming after him. Hill forced him back inside, which is key. The only way that play can work is if they break contain, and we didn't let him do it right there.
Defense has been playing stout for the most part in this game, and it's 3rd and 26 now. Not a lot in the playbook for this one.
We seem to be able to handle them in the middle. We really are controlling that part of that line of scrimmage up there.
3 wide receivers to the far side of the field, ball on the far hash. 1 wide receiver, Ashton, to the near side. Here's the snap. Little screen set up. They find Puig behind it. He's at the 40, 45, and he'll be hit and brought down by Van Rukel about 8 yards shy of the first down. So you see that in the NFL a lot, just a really safe play and just try to let the receiver or the back gain the yardage on the screen play. It was set up nicely, but they are short of the first down by, we'll call it 7 yards, and they will be punting from Chase Lamb, and it'll be Tyler Miller back, and this is kind of where you want your punter to try to pin him deep.
Yeah, well, that was an excellent play in my opinion, because you could very well pin Oskaloosa inside their own 20 right now.
Lamb takes the snap, no pressure. He kicks this end over end. Miller, fair catch, and he's got it at the 13-yard line. Not going to risk letting it bounce and roll towards the goal line, and Oskaloosa will have it with 1:16 to go first quarter. 7-7 the score. We are 6 minutes past the top of the 8 o'clock hour. You're listening to us live on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN, and all over the world on RadioKMZN.com. Live video will be shot and archived. We do not have live video this week due to internet concerns here on Mount Pleasant, so be sure tomorrow to check out the video from this ball game on RadioKMZN.com and also on MCG Channel 7. It will be playing in rotation there as well. Oski's offense has been a little up and down in this one. They had one very impressive drive, but a couple of turnovers, looking to try to get back on the right track, starting from their own 14 here with the last minute or so of this quarter, and it looks like we're going to have some neutral zone infraction. Mount Pleasant jumps off that time.
I don't know if somebody called something out there, because 2 players for Mount Pleasant jumped across. So I would have kept that in my back pocket for a 3rd and 4.
Unless it was just an accident.
Yeah.
4 wide receivers, 2 to each side on 1st and 5 now from the 19-yard line. Oskaloosa with Howard in the shotgun looking back to the sideline. A lot of soft coverage in this game for Mount Pleasant. Oskaloosa's taken advantage on some occasions. Howard takes the snap. This will be a handoff to Hill. Hill gets through the first wave and is going to get out to about the 25. That's close and should be a first down with 1:09 to go first quarter, tied at 7. Give him 6 on the play and go ahead and move those chains.
Well, it's going to be close. They may have to measure it. I hope he's, well, they gave it to him. Kind of hoping he'd have been short and he could have maybe taken a shot on 2nd and inches.
Yeah. Instead, it is 1st and 10. Ball spotted at Oskaloosa's own 25. Ball on the near side hash. That helicopter behind us is firing up, it sounds like. 1 minute to go here in this quarter. It's going to be a handoff to Hill again, and he's trying to fight through the first wave. Gets maybe a yard or 2. We'll Puig among those in on the stop, and we're inside of 50 seconds here. If you missed it, we talked about it in the pregame. This is National Guard night here in Mount Pleasant at this football field at Evans Field. And at halftime of the JV game, or the freshman game, a helicopter actually, a National Guard helicopter landed on the practice field behind us, and it's firing up right now. I don't know if he's got somewhere to be, but not something you experience every day. Well, 4 wide receivers.
Oskaloosa gained a yard there. I'd like to see Casey, if there's no hole there, hit the hole hard low and just get what you can.
Could be the last play of the first quarter. 4 wide receivers. Howard in the gun on 2nd and 9. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, fires. Ball tipped and incomplete. Got lucky there. And with 11 seconds to go, we'll have 3rd and 9.
Well, that actually was not open. He was going to Tyler Miller, and Mount Pleasant did a good job covering the route there. And once we got lucky there that ball was not picked off deep in Oskaloosa territory.
Mount Pleasant making a defensive switch as Colin Mulford will enter the game.
And I think you're right, Emery. These guys going both ways. They got a lot of them going both ways in the heat tonight. We could see the way Oskaloosa's controlling the line of scrimmage. We could wear them down by the 3rd quarter.
Oskaloosa's going to call a timeout here with 11 seconds to go. We'll keep it here with 7-7 the score. First quarter, and that's the second Oskaloosa timeout. So before this 3rd and 7, they wanted to talk about something. It's kind of, the best way I can describe is maybe herky-jerky, the offense, right? So we had the really nice drive, even with a holding call that was capped off after several nice completions to Tanner DeCock and Cole Henry. It was Casey Hill, a 3-yard touchdown run that capped it off. But at the same time, all the other drives just feel like there's a good play here, there's a decent play here, there's a penalty here, there's a timeout we have to take here. Guys are confused here. You're just not seeing the offense get into a rhythm tonight.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Emery. I mean, I've seen numerous times guys with their palms up like, what's being called? I don't know why they're having such a hard time, or if we change signals or what's going on tonight, but they do have a dummy signaler. They have a live signaler. Something's going on with our signals tonight.
They'll come to the line of scrimmage. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. 3rd and 9. The snap. Howard looking. Under pressure now by Cohorst. He runs on the run, fires it, and he's got Henry who makes the catch across midfield, and he's going to be brought down by Puig inside the 40 to the 38 with 2 seconds left in the first quarter. So, hey, you take that timeout if it results in a 30-yard pickup like that just did.
Absolutely. That was a benefit there that we get the first down. And once again, Howard's scrambling ability. Good job keeping his eyes up, and a good job by Henry to move to the open area. He gets open about 15, 20 yards down the field and then runs it for another, what was that again, 35-yarder?
Yeah, close to 35. It's going to be at the 38 in Mount Pleasant territory, and we will take a break as we head into the second quarter. After 1 quarter of play, Oskaloosa hasn't played well, but they find themselves tied at 7 with Mount Pleasant. We'll have the second quarter after this short break right here on the No Coast Network.
Our roots are here in the middle of America, where humble beginnings can grow into great opportunities, where hard work and high standards are the key ingredients to success, where honesty and integrity matter. We're proud of our roots, proud to be a part of a community that shares our values, and grateful to our customers for giving us the opportunity to grow.
Kevin, meet your father.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin. Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Trusted advice for life.
Kevin, how's your mom?
Thank you.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
After one quarter of play, Oskaloosa has to feel pretty relieved they're tied at 7.
I don't know how they feel. They should be up, but then again, they're happy they're not down.
Yeah, I don't know. 4 wide receivers here on 1st and 10 from the Mount Pleasant 38, going from left to right now. Howard in the gun, fires deep over the middle, over the head of Tyler Miller. Miller being targeted an awful lot here, but he has been draped in coverage for the most part all night long. Howard putting a lot of trust in what was a running back coming in this season. If it weren't for the injury to Tucker Nunnikov, and he very well may still be in the rotation at running back, but either way, it's 2nd and 10, and Howard really being liberal in how he's throwing the football.
Yeah, just missed Miller over the middle there. Good job by our offensive line once again. Pretty good protection on that pass play. So we are winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. We just got to execute a little bit better here.
Beginning of the second quarter here, Oski has the ball in the near hash going left to right. It'll be 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side, and Hill the back. Howard in the gun, takes the snap, looking to throw. Finds DeCock, again, about 5 yards downfield to make the catch, and is immediately tackled that time by Mason Ashton. Another one of these guys going both ways, and it'll be 3rd and medium here, 3rd and about 6.
Well, that's a 4 or 5 yard gain. If you do that on 1st down, you do it on 2nd down, you're in 3rd and short. I mean, we just got to take what they're giving us and make the right reads until they close up and stop those plays. Like right now, you can throw it to Tyler Miller right from the snap, and he's going to get 4 yards.
3rd and 6 at the 34-yard line. Howard drops back under pressure, steps up, fires toward Henry. Tried to reel it in with one hand after the coverage by Jordan Magnani right there as well. Magnani, one of the best athletes here at this school, and that time just not it's not a big enough window there for Henry to pull that thing in. Good coverage once again by Mount Pleasant. And that's been a nice theme for them in this game.
Well, it was a pretty good throw by Howard. Henry just wasn't able to get both hands up. He only got he was cutting to the post to the right, and he got his left hand up, but he wasn't able to get his right hand up to make the catch. So a long field goal attempt coming up here for Oskaloosa. Well, it goes to the 20. Why not?
Yeah, might as well. 51-yard attempt. Here's the snap, and they're going to blow it dead. And what happened here, the play clock went to 0.
Now it's 56.
It is 56 now.
Oh, my goodness.
Jenkins over there on the sideline has his hands in the air like you guys started the play clock before it was supposed to start, and now it looks like they're pulling Blum off the field. And we'll see what they do on 4th and what will be 11.
Well, that was an awful quick 25 seconds.
Well, in high school, they're supposed to start when the ball is marked,
right,
not the 40-second clock where it starts immediately after the play is blown dead. So must have been something weird going on there. Coach Jenkins wasn't a big fan of that call, but either way, Van Rukel now on to punt. Not going to risk the field goal, and this is going to be a fake. They're faking it.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Hill took a direct snap, and he got nothing.
Not even close. Mount Pleasant just playing base right there. Oskaloosa once again going to give up field goal position. Field position.
What was interesting there is I should have mentioned they didn't have anybody back to return. It's almost like they were expecting something screwy to happen.
And we went ahead and did it. That should be a read play. Oskaloosa once again, nobody back. If you just kick the ball, they got to go 80, 90 yards at least. Now we give them another short field.
That's I think a lot of Jake Jenkins' decision there may have been the fact that the defense has been so good. 11-10 to go here in the first half. Oskaloosa back on defense. 1st and 10 from the 39. A little dump pass tipped, and if that's not tipped by Magnani, Silvers has an easy pick. I don't know what Zach Beeson was looking at there, but that was a dangerous little floating pass, and Magnani saved him by knocking that ball down.
Well, that's the first time we've seen him go with a real quick slant on the Oskaloosa, because if they're running longer routes, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, they're going to try to go vertical. They have tried it, but Oskaloosa's getting good pressure with their defensive line.
2nd and 10, ball on Mount Pleasant's own 39-yard line. 3 wide receivers. Here's the snap. This will be a handoff to Puig. Puig runs through a tackle, and then he's going to be brought down right at the chains at the 49-yard line. You know, you almost wonder why they haven't been relying on him a little bit more here, because the passing game has done relatively nothing so far outside of a play that was actually called back on a penalty to Mason Ashton in the first quarter. And they're going to measure this. This is actually right at the chains. It'll be 3rd and inches or a first down here for the Panthers. But you just wonder why they haven't necessarily gone to Puig in the handoffs. I know he's not Brody McGackey, but sometimes you have to just rely on what you got out there.
Well, he just ran right through Tanner DeCock's tackle at about 2 yards. Tanner's got to start going lower and through their thighs and not trying to tackle them up above the waist and tie their feet up till help gets there.
He is short. So didn't get the best spot there, so it'll be 3rd and inches, and we'll see what's drawn up for the Panthers. Likely something just to try to get those couple of inches and move the chains.
3rd short for the Panthers.
So they'll get to the line of scrimmage. Will the Panthers? They'll come out with 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side, and 2 backs. One of them is Cohorst. Kind of going to be a fullback at the very least. Here's the snap. It's just going to be Beeson trying to get he's hit at the line but spins off the tackle, and I think he's made it to midfield, and it should be enough for a first down. So Oskaloosa nearly, with Cole Kraber coming off the edge, made good contact, just couldn't bring him down. That'll move the chains for Mount Pleasant. Just the second, I believe my memory serves me correct, that's just the second time they've moved the sticks in this game offensively.
Yeah, that could be.
Their only points were on a pick six.
They had a big run down here. That might be maybe one more time, but they haven't moved it very much. So now they're at midfield, and you look back and you're like, you know, we just gave them the ball at the 40.
1st and 10 at midfield, ball right in the middle of the field. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side for Mount Pleasant, with Zach Beeson in the gun with Puig next to him. They'll send Lamb in motion and whistles, and it looks like Mount Pleasant needs to burn a timeout. 10:29 to go, second quarter, 7-7. Both of these offenses having a hard time getting in rhythm. We'll take a quick break and be back after the timeout right here on the No Coast Network.
Experience the Bruxforts difference. We aim to provide you with the best value and better service than can be found anywhere else. After 36 years, we're still as committed to our customers and our community as the day we first opened our doors. Please stop in and give us a chance to prove how important our customers are to us.
Seven the score, 10:29 left in the second quarter. Ball 1st and 10 for Mount Pleasant, right at midfield, right in the middle of the field. And both these offenses probably going to the drawing board here at halftime, regardless of what happens, unless we see just some sort of exhibition from either of them. It's just been a defensive battle for the most part, and both teams have made some big mistakes, especially Oskaloosa on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Oskaloosa has made mistakes. They haven't really been stopped by Mount Pleasant. They've stopped themselves.
1st and 10. Here's the snap, a little bubble screen, overshooting his man. That was Magnani, and I think Beeson, again, just kind of aborted the mission there after he saw DeYoung just kind of creeping closer to where that bubble screen was headed for Magnani on the far side.
And DeYoung's, he's excellent at that. He reads that bubble screen quick. He gets a lot of tackles at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage.
And he also gets a lot of picks.
Yeah, because he reads it so quick.
3 wide receivers will split out to the far side this time for the Panthers. 1 back, 1 wide receiver. It's Lamb to the near side. 2nd and 10. Man coming in motion across the field. Here's the snap. It will be a handoff this time to Jake Lowe. Lowe makes a man miss, dives forward after a gain of 7, tackled by Keaton DeCock. Satimi also in on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2.5 here for the Panthers after Lowe able to turn it upfield. That's the first time we've seen the reverse look.
Well, we had 2 guys in contain there. We did a good job of turning them back in, but we had, though, I'm not sure, one guy should have probably been more towards the inside. We were containing, but we didn't have any help coming from the inside.
So it could have been maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain, ended up being a 7-yard gain. It's 3rd and 3 now for Mount Pleasant. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. They have Cohorst in at a H-back. The snap, this will be a fake handoff to Puig. Beeson gets away from 1, and he turns it up. He's got first down yardage before being upended by Van Areukel after a gain of about 6.
A missed tackle in the backfield there. Looked like we could have got him for a loss, and he was able to get away. So Oskaloosa doing everything possible to keep Mount Pleasant in this game so far.
This is a passing team. 48 of 77 for a 62.3% completion rate and over 200 yards a game. I'm coming in here thinking they're going to be able to chuck it wherever they want, McGahee or no McGahee. That's just not been the case. They've had a run for their yardage so far tonight, and they have a 1st and 10 at the Oskaloosa 36-yard line. Beeson again drops back. He's in trouble. They're setting a screen up, and he overshoots Puig. That's a dangerous throw again. Most of his throws have not been accurate. And I know he's trying to throw it away some of those times, but he's just not liked what he's seen.
No, I agree with you, Emery. He's not a real accurate passer. Yeah.
So how is he at 62.3% completion rate, and they throw it 30 times a game?
Well, short passes to McGahee.
And then let him run?
Yeah, he has a ton of catches. He was their leading receiver. So
17 catches,
they were
averaging
just
14
swinging the ball out and throwing short passes. They don't throw it downfield very much.
3 wide receivers will split out to the far side. 1 wide receiver to the near side. In the gun on 2nd and 10 here is Beeson, and he looks over the middle, and this is going to be spiked into the ground again. I don't think he liked what he saw as Keaton DeCock and Calvin Silvers kind of sandwiched Lamb in the coverage. There just wasn't anywhere to fit the football. You got to give Oski credit, too. The coverage has been stout in this game.
Well, Oskaloosa's strength on defense is their pass defense, in my opinion. We're pretty smart back there. We change our coverages. We give quarterbacks different looks, and that confuses them. So we're pretty good pass defense. And Mount Pleasant, if I was them, I would stick to running the ball on 1st down and then going off of that.
3rd and 10 now. Beeson looking to throw. He's in trouble. Steps up, trying to escape. Flag down. That'll bring this back regardless of what it is. It will be a 1st down for Beeson. He's going to get down to the 20, but it looked like Van Veldhuizen was kind of wrangled in the backfield, and it'll come back. And it will bring it back, and if that's from the flag spot, that's going to be 14 yards backwards, and that'll be 3rd and 24. So some of the penalties now kind of starting to balance themselves out as Oskaloosa again seeing big biscuits into the backfield.
Yeah, just not real sure what our linebackers are doing. I didn't watch the routes there, but I have a hard time believing that our linebackers are dropping back 15, 20 yards, and we're allowing a quarterback to scramble out and get 15 yards. So not a very good job tonight by our linebackers, and they need to step it up a little bit here. The defensive line's doing their job. For the most part, the corners and everybody, the linebackers need to pick their game up here in the rest of this quarter and in the 2nd quarter.
Second half, you mean?
Second half.
9 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. 7-7 the score. 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 24 at their own 47 now. Ball on the far hash going from right to left for the Panthers. Beeson will take the snap out of the gun. Again, looking to throw. He's going to fire this one deep, and it's going to be caught but out of bounds.
Nice catch. Pretty good coverage there by Calvin Silvers.
And that was a great throw that time by Beeson. That was in the only spot it could have been. Bringing it in was Rylan Seberg, and that was the first time he was targeted, but because of the great coverage, the only chance that Seberg had of making the catch was going a couple feet out of bounds.
Yeah, big-time catch over his shoulder, and Silver's nice job. Good coverage on him. Let's see if Oskaloosa can get the ball here, get the ball back, and put together a drive. Let's see if Tyler can catch it on the run, make a big return.
Lamb punts it away. It's another high, good kick. And it'll be a fair caught at the 12-yard line. Oskaloosa will take over there. Chase Lamb absolutely has been a star punting the football tonight for Mount Pleasant.
Good job by Tyler Miller once again. Fair catch in the ball. And that easily could have been inside the 10, downed inside the 10 as Mount Pleasant had a defender right there.
Referee's blowing his whistle, trying to get somebody's attention, but there's no flags or anything, so the offense for Oskaloosa comes back out. I think they're going to mark it at the 13-yard line. Oskaloosa, another long field. Field position hasn't been in their favor tonight, but again, they haven't helped themselves at all offensively to try to change that at all. Once again, if you just joined us, a pick six on just a bad play by Seth Howard. He dropped the snap and then just tried to underhand toss it into open space just to live to fight another down. And what ended up happening was it was intercepted by Kieran Cohorse, and he ran the distance for a touchdown. That's the only score for Mount Pleasant. They did get it back into the red zone after a Casey Hill fumble, but the defense stood strong and they missed a field goal attempt. Oskaloosa got it back near Aaron Blom range. He was about to attempt a 51-yarder, but a delay of game, a controversial delay of game, allowed Oskaloosa to, prevented Oskaloosa from attempting that field goal, so they ended up punting it away. Both offenses cannot feel good about the way they've played so far in this first half. But still 8:36 left in the second quarter, still tied at 7. It's anybody's ball game, and Oskaloosa gets the next chance to try to get their offense in a rhythm because their 7 points came on a very impressive offensive drive.
Yeah, Emery, it's you mix in the interception, the fumble, the fake punt call, which they had nobody back, and we just are making bad decisions right now offensively. We're still in the game. Let's see if we can pick it up a notch here and straighten things out.
8:36 to go, and Oskaloosa comes out 4 wide receivers. One back alongside Howard in the gun on his own 13-yard line, ball in the middle of the field. He takes the snap, hands this to Hill. Hill trying to get to the outside, and he's going to be tackled right before the line of scrimmage. Nice job closing the gap that time by Tucker Johnson. Johnson, if you recall in that first quarter, could have intercepted a ball, but never got his head around, and Cole Henry ended up catching it over his head and getting a first down. That time a great tackle, minimal gain of maybe a half yard.
Well, that's a case where you got to plant that right foot and just drive up field and get what you can. You could probably get 3 yards on that. You can't sidestep when they're pursuing you like that.
4 wide receivers again, Oskaloosa with the ball. Howard doesn't like what he sees, and he's going to try to run, and he's got nowhere to go. Just not a good offensive performance by either team. The defenses have to feel good about what they're doing, but right there, Howard, I guess the initial read just wasn't there, and he immediately pulled it down and was looking to try to get out of there with a run.
Well, that looked like a called quarterback draw type play, and we ran that really effective last week against Fort Madison, so you know Mount Pleasant looked at the film, and they're like, we're not going to allow that play to work.
Loss of 3, 3rd and 13 now from the 10-yard line. The snap to Howard looking to throw. He's going to fire, and that one just kind of slipped off the edge of his hand, looking for Chapman, but wasn't close, and it'll be incomplete, and Oskaloosa will have to punt, and this is going to give Mount Pleasant likely great field positioning here, as it'll be standing in his own end zone. Will be Jaden Van Rukel to get this one away.
Well, we are struggling. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you do here. This has just been
just keep playing defense.
Very poor offensive performance tonight.
Van Rukel is standing halfway into his own end zone. 2 guys are back. It's Puig and Rich to receive the punt inside or right around the 45-yard line. A good kick here from Van Rukel, and Puig will fair catch it at the 44-yard line in Oskaloosa territory. So not a horrible punt, 33 yards, nice up in the air, no return, but Mount Pleasant gets it right about where they had it when they lost possession last time, having to punt it away themselves. And now, once again, that Oskaloosa defense is back out there looking to try to continue what they've done in this game. The defense has been fairly flawless for the most part, and the 7 points that Mount Pleasant have scored have not come on their watch.
Well, and you're playing with fire big time here. You're letting them start every possession in our territory, and your defense is out there. It's tough. We got to ask them once again to hold them out here.
3 wide receivers will break out to the far side, 1 wide receiver to the near side. Now they'll move Magnani back to this near side. Beeson in the gun on 1st and 10 from the 43 in Oski territory. Hand off to Puig, and he's going to get 2, 3, maybe 4 inside the 40.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. I wouldn't even mess around with trying to throw on 1st down. I'd run the ball. They just got 4 yards. Run it again, and then you're set up for your short passing game or running the ball again. They've been trying to pass it on 1st down, getting themselves in 2nd and long. That's all they got to do right there.
Ball about a football length inside the 40. We'll call it 2nd and 6. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Ball on the near side hash as the Panthers go from right to left. 6:45 to go, 7-7 the score. And good tackle by Kenny Satimi for a gain of about 1. That's the kind of missed tackle we've seen in this game, but that time Satimi able to wrap him up and bring him down. It'll bring up a 3rd, and we'll call it 6 again here at the 39 in Oski territory. And the defense, another opportunity to try to force Mount Pleasant into a 4th down situation.
Well, and if I'm Mount Pleasant, the way our offense is playing, if I don't get it here,
just go for it.
No, keep playing field position.
Oh, right.
I mean, kick it. We ain't gonna go 80, 90 yards, although we did once.
On 3rd and 6, Beeson takes a snap. He'll hand it to Puig, and he's rocked by Van Veldhuizen. Actually, and the ball came out at the end of the play. It was a good job by Puig to keep fighting. That actually, on the hit initially, was Keegan Mitz-Butler. Puig got it back after he lost it, trying to fight for extra yard, but that was a huge hit that time by Keegan Mitz-Butler.
And it looks like Mount Pleasant's going to go for it here.
Or maybe a quick kick.
Yeah, watch for Cohorst in the flats here, number 88.
They haven't really looked his direction much tonight.
They haven't. I mean, I'm not sure why, but watch for him to act like he's okay. He's split out now. Van Rukel's going to have him. Hill's picking him up on the line.
4 wide receivers, and they're going to snap it, looking to throw, firing it over the middle, caught, and first down. They get Magnani coming back to the football. That's just a simple comeback route, which you've been imploring Oskaloosa to take advantage of on the Mount Pleasant defense side. And they must have seen something that they were going to be able to take advantage of that, and they do so. They pick up the first down on a 4th down conversion, and it is going to be 1st and 10 from the Oski 30.
Nice play call right there. They saw something, and they hit it.
Kind of waited until the right time to hit it, too.
They kept it, and they did the right thing there. I'll see if they run the ball. They might go off the right edge there.
Beeson with 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Ball in the near hash. Beeson, no, he's looking to throw. He fires it over the middle. Lamb, a nice catch, and he holds on through the contact from Keaton DeCock. The Young kind of just let him get to the inside there, and the safety help wasn't there in time. And with 5:01 to go in the second quarter, this is the best couple of plays we've seen for Mount Pleasant, and they have 1st and 10 at the Oskaloosa 15.
And they got something going here. They've got Oskaloosa a little bit on their heels with quick passes, not dropping back and letting our defensive line get pressure on them.
4 wide receivers, 2 to each side again for Beeson. He takes the snap, and he will hand it off to Puig. Nothing there, and he's going to be dropped for a loss.
Well, we guessed right there. Tanner DeCock on the blitz. He was able to get home on that one.
Hill also in on the stop along with Tyson Brucklander.
Oh, that might have been. I'm not sure who that was, but 2-yard loss. So now you got Mount Pleasant. If you're defensive, Oskaloosa defense, you got Mount Pleasant where you want them in a 2nd and long here.
And that was a great pursuit by 2 linebackers in DeCock and Hill, and the great pursuit by linemen helping out. I mean, that will take them out of wanting to run on 1st down, which has been what we think would be most successful for them. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Beeson takes the snap, a little jump pass over the top. Silver's great coverage as once again they look for Seaberg. Nothing doing there, and it'll be 3rd and 12 at the Oskaloosa 17 with 4:06 to go second quarter. Still tied at 7.
Well, good coverage by Silvers, and kudos to the referees. A lot of times you'll see them just throw the flag on that, even though there was no foul. And good job by Silvers and the referees.
I've never heard you say that before.
Well, I've said it before.
1 wide receiver to each side, a couple of tight ends, a fake handoff. Beeson looks over the middle. He's got a man. It's caught, and the ball jarred loose at the end, but they're going to say there's recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. Is that Cohorst?
Yep.
And he was from a natural tight end position that time. One of the first times we've seen him there. Kieran Cohorst, his 2nd touchdown of the game, and it is now 13-7, 4 minutes to go here in Mount Pleasant in the second quarter, and the extra point to follow here from David Blancas.
Well,
little seam route.
Yeah, they hadn't been targeting him. They were just sitting on it.
Yeah, again, that's the 2nd time that drive we kind of saw something they felt confident they could get. They just waited to the right time to use it. Blancas' extra point is good. And with 4 minutes left in the second quarter, Mount Pleasant takes a 14-7 lead. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff after this on the No Coast Network.
Swim Sports is once again open in Oskaloosa. This is Doug DeCock, the new owner of Swims. Along with Doug Swim, we are happy to be open again. Swims has a wide variety of trophies, plaques, and engraving available to Oskaloosa and the surrounding areas. We have an assortment of uniforms, socks, and belts, along with other sporting goods at the store. Swim Sports also provides a full screen printing facility for your screen printing needs. Come check out the new store at 118 A Avenue East in Oskaloosa. The two Dougs would love to see you at Swim Sports.
14-7 after a nice little drive there by Mount Pleasant, a 4th down conversion, a couple of successful pass plays, including a 17-yard touchdown pass from Zach Beeson to Kieran Cohorst, the guy that Doug was keying in on early. They haven't looked to him too much in this game, but they picked a good spot to, and they take a 14-7 lead. It's the first time their offense had done really anything of note in this game. And now it is going to be Oskaloosa's turn with 4 minutes left, still plenty of time. They do have a 1 timeout remaining. But Oskaloosa just looking to try to get some level of offensive rhythm. Their 7 points came on a very impressive offensive drive, but other than that, the offense has been stagnant and have not done much, including 2 really bad turnovers deep in Mount Pleasant territory, including a pick 6. Blancas to kick off. He will kick it deep And it looks like it will be Miller at the 5. He's across the 15 to the 20, breaks to the outside. He's across the 25-30. He's at the 35, gets rid of Blancas. He's across the 40, across to the 45-yard line, and is forced out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. What did we say? This has been the best facet of Oskaloosa football so far this year, the return game.
Good job by our blockers, and Miller cut up through the seam there. Oskaloosa is going to start with their best field position of the night here at their own 46. So kind of flip the field here a little bit, and let's play in their end.
3:51 left in the second quarter, and with just 55 yards needed to get 7 points, that is very doable with one timeout, especially with a pass-happy offense that Oskaloosa likes to be. They break from the sideline and come to the field. They will have Henry to the far side. They have Chapman, Van Leuven to the near side. They also have DeCock in the slot to the far side with Miller, the single back. Howard in the gun. 1st and 10 from the 45 in their own territory. Howard takes a snap. He's looking to throw. Under pressure now. Will step up. Got a little bit of room to run if he wants, and he will. He's across midfield. He's going to be wrangled down there. That's a nice open field tackle, saving even a bigger gain that time by Keegan Cohorst.
Yeah, Lobrecht in there filling in for Nick Coots, was riding his guy out, did a good job. The referee looked like he was reaching for his flag, actually. Didn't call it, and Howard was able to cut up inside that and get some positive yardage.
2nd and 4 from the 49 in Mount Pleasant territory, 3:20 to go in this second quarter. The snap, this is a design draw, and Howard's got a little space to the outside. He's got the first down, and it'll be speared by Johnson, and that'll be at the 41-yard line. Clock will stop for the chains to move, and Oskaloosa going to try to pick up the pace a little bit here. 3:13 still left to go. Oskaloosa still with one timeout. The offense is just good to see them pick up a first down after a few drives without one. 4 wide still, 2 to each side. Howard takes a snap, looking to throw. Fires short, knocked down by Potts. Colby Potts just kind of dropped back from his linebacker spot and just put his paw out there and knocked it away from DeCock, who was trying to sit down 10 yards out.
That play was very reminiscent of Pella, linebacker, dropping back in and picking it off. That was close to being picked off.
Howard just not seeing that underneath guy.
I'm not sure what's going on, but that could easily have been picked off for possibly another 6.
4 wide receivers on 2nd and 10 from the Mount Pleasant 41. Howard flushed out again, looking down the field, fires across his body, and a good defensive play by Magnani all over Henry. And if he leads Henry there, that could have been an interception the way Magnani had him in coverage. Yeah. So the fact that it was behind him a little bit probably worked out in Oskaloosa's favor at least. But now a 3rd and 10 from the Mount Pleasant 41-yard line. Are you in 4-down territory here?
2:59.
Down 7. You'll get the kickoff to start the second half.
Let's see what they do here. I don't think so.
5 wide, by the way.
The way they moved the ball the last time, I think I want them to go in at 14-7 and see what we can figure out.
Here's the snap on an empty set. Little short throw here to Miller. Miller gets away from the first tackler, gets across the 40, but will be stopped at about the 39 and maybe the 38. And that'll bring up still a 4th and 7, maybe a 4th and 8. And Howard looking to the sideline on what they want him to do. This is kind of in that too long for a field goal, too short for a punt, but you might see a quarterback quick kick it, a little pooch punt, or you might have a situation where you do see Oskaloosa go for it in a traditional setup. Well, I don't know. They line up traditionally with 4th and 8 from the 39-yard line, 2 wide receivers to each side, 2:24 and counting. Howard will take the snap, and he is looking to throw. And he fires over the middle, looking for Chapman behind him, and he can't make the catch. And it'll be a 1st and 10 for Mount Pleasant after the incompletion. So they do get a first down on the drive, but cannot do anything more than that. And they'll give it to the Panthers at the 39-yard line. Outside of the last drive, the defense has been good, but the last drive, it was a momentum builder for this Mount Pleasant offense, and we'll see what they conjure up with 2:17 to go in the second quarter. And they still have 2 timeouts left, 61 yards to pay dirt.
And DJ Miles is now in there on defense for Oskaloosa.
We hadn't seen him since week 1. So we'll see.
Chapman was open on that play. The ball was just thrown behind him. He was open across the middle. We just got to make a good pass.
3 wide receivers, 2 to the near side, and a tight end is Cohorst. The snap, this will be a handoff to Puig, and he's going to be met immediately. Van Veldhuizen, Satimi, Dykstra. Oh, pardon, that's not Dykstra. That is Tanner DeCock, who helped finish the play. And no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. Inside of 2 minutes to play second quarter, 14-7. Mount Pleasant the lead and the football. Ball on the far side hash, and they're in no hurry. I think they'll be fine going in with a 7-point lead. Oskaloosa is due to receive the second half kickoff. 2 wide to each side here for the Panthers. Ball on the far hash, as mentioned. Beeson takes a snap, looking to throw. Dumps it down to Magnani, who makes a catch, but falls down after a gain of just 2, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 8.
If I'm Oskaloosa, I might use my timeout now.
Now or after the 3rd down play?
Well, 126. You can use it after this play.
We'll see how quickly Mount Pleasant wants to get to the line. They still have 20 seconds on the play clock. 1:18 to go in this first half. Mount Pleasant leading 14-7, and they have a 3rd and 8 at their own 41-yard line. Ball on the near hash, and they'll spread it out with 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side.
Look for something really safe here so the clock doesn't stop on an incomplete pass.
The snap, Beeson drops back. He's got time. He's looking to throw, fires it deep, looking down the field. DeYoung rather, is there, and then he pitches it to Van Rukel, and he's going to cross midfield. He's got blockers inside the 40, inside the 30, cuts it back. He's inside the 20. He is still running in the 15 and will be wrangled at the 13-yard line with 41 seconds to go. Disaster for Mount Pleasant is euphoria for Oskaloosa, and they are as deep as they've been since they scored early in the first quarter.
Sparky, once again, Alex DeYoung gets his head turned around, makes the pick, and has the instincts to quick pitch it to Van Rukel, who runs up the sideline, gets a great block from DeCock over there, goes down the sideline, cuts it back to the middle of the field, and Oskaloosa could be in business here. They're at least in field goal range.
Unbelievable. The way this half has gone for Mount Pleasant to trust a bomb on 3rd and 8 with a 7-point lead is interesting, to say the least.
Listen to me. I said, yeah, something safe, you know. Let's just throw it up in the air.
And DeYoung, his 5th pick of the year.
And then throw it at him.
Yeah, bad move. 4 wide receivers for Oskaloosa, 1st and 10 from the 13 in the red zone.
And you still have your timeout left.
Howard takes a snap. He's got time, fires toward the pylon, but this one is, again, Henry intended target, but Magnani just great coverage there. There's nowhere to fit that football.
Well,
something's got to change with this offensive scheme.
Well, and Henry's frustrated. Seth's trying to throw a back shoulder, and Henry's wanting him to throw the lob up there and let him go get it, and just they're not on the same page right now. Seth is struggling this half big time.
4 wide again. 2nd and 10 from the 13 in Mount Pleasant territory. The snap. This will be a handoff. Hill looking for some action. He's inside the 10, inside the 5,
wow.
And he scores on a run from 13 yards away. And Oskaloosa somehow is just an extra point from tying this game late in the second quarter.
Unbelievable. We go from 14-7 deficit.
Get us to the half there.
Yeah, get us to the half. Let's just figure out what we're doing wrong. What a momentum changer at the end of the first half. And this time it goes in Oskaloosa's favor.
Mount Pleasant trying to get a man on late for the extra point. Howard to hold. The kick from Blom is up, and the kick from Blom is good. 31.5 to go in the second quarter, and somehow, some way, the Oskaloosa Indians, they call them the Fighting Indians for a reason. They take advantage of a bad decision by Zach Beeson. Alex DeYoung picks it off, pitches it on a lateral to Jaden Van Rukel, who returns it all the way down to the 13 in Mount Pleasant territory. And then a 13-yard run by Casey Hill notched the score at 14-all. The Oskaloosa pass game has to have something adjusted in the halftime locker room, though, because it has been fairly non-existent outside of the one drive.
Well, and after that run right there, I don't know if you try to run the ball coming out again after that successful run there, and then you hope to pull their linebackers in and hit some stuff in the middle. You know, sit down in the middle of the field behind the linebackers and try to hit that. But amazing, we are tied at 14 right here. This could easily be Mount Pleasant ahead. It could easily be Oskaloosa ahead. Just a mistake-filled first half.
Both ways.
Both ways.
But it makes for a fun game, doesn't it? 14-all. If you are not a bipartisan person listening to this game or watching this game, you're just kind of like, what is going to happen next? 31 seconds to go here. Tied at 14. Blom to kick off for Oskaloosa. And the kick is away. Just a little squibber. Don't want those return men to get it. It's angling toward the sideline, and then it's just kind of bobbled out of bounds by Magnani. That wasn't pretty at all, but it'll end up with Mount Pleasant with the football with 28.7 to go. Ball spotted on their own 21-yard line, although it's dangerous to be aiming toward a sideline as a kicker. You don't want that penalty to bring it out to the 35 or 40-yard line. That time he hit a man, and it was able to roll out and give Oskaloosa great field position.
Well, let's see how forgiving Mount Pleasant is here. Are they going to try to take another shot with 28 seconds?
They have 2 timeouts, but in high school ball, after what just happened, I don't think so. 28 seconds to go, you get to the half. 2
major coaching errors, I think, in this half. The fake punt by Oskaloosa and the pass call right there by Mount Pleasant, which are going to offset each other.
Here's the kneel down, and that should do it for the first half. And it will. Mount Pleasant calls it a half, and somehow Oskaloosa, they have to be thanking their lucky stars that after the half of football they played offensively just now, they have put themselves in a spot where they will go to the locker room tied 14-14. And I guess the player's just waiting for the official horn, but there it is. But 14-all, we go to the half. Oskaloosa, I don't know how, but we'll go ahead and we'll take a break and come back, try to unpack what we've seen here. Unbelievable stuff. Mount Pleasant and Oski tied at 14 at the half. We'll take a break, come back with more after this on the No Coast Network.
Hawkeye Real Estate is your one-stop source for everything real estate in Mahaska County and the surrounding area. Whether commercial, residential, or acreages, we've got you covered with the area's largest pool of real estate professionals, full-time support staff, and property management services. With over $19 million in sales volume for 2016, Hawkeye continues to be Oskaloosa's leading real estate office. Discover what thousands already know. When it's time to make a move, get the Hawkeye Edge.
Plow Valve Company of Oskaloosa is very proud of all area students involved in any school activities. They know that being involved takes dedication and hard work put forth by each student. Plow Valve Company reminds you to support our area students in the various activities that they're involved in. School activities are important in molding young people into healthy, successful adults, as they are an important part of a good community. Congratulations to all area students from Plow Valve Company in Oskaloosa.
At Pepsi, we think it's important to celebrate stuff in life.
Like when you text that really cute guy you met at a party on Friday, and he immediately texts you back, you celebrate with an ice-cold Pepsi.
Or your friend turns on the radio, and your absolute most favorite new song just happens to be playing. That calls for a Pepsi, too.
Because when you and your roommate order a pizza, and the delivery guy throws in extra breadsticks, no charge?
Break out the Pepsi.
If your savings and investments are sitting on the bench instead of meeting your goals, call Timeout to examine your investment lineup. Your game plan should include getting some investment advice from an experienced investment professional. I'm Bob Auld of Robert Auld Investments, an investment advisor with over 20 years of experience in Oskaloosa and southern Iowa. I would like to assist you with your investment strategies. Call 673-9448 or toll free at 1-800-444-ALD.
At Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, we're proud to keep the Oskaloosa Indians and their fans safe and feeling good on and off the field. Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy is the expert in injury care, orthopedics, and sports rehab, with a new facility in Oskaloosa, complete with an open gym area in addition to several private treatment rooms. If pain is bugging you, come see the experts at Kinetic Edge for a free injury screen. Find out more, including why the Oskaloosa Indians trust Kinetic Edge, at kineticedgept.com.
If you are looking for brand names close to home, then look no further than Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Penn Central Mall has a wide variety of stores for people of all ages. Find the perfect pair of silver or Vigas jeans at Maurice's, get a pair of Oakley sunglasses from the smiling staff at Eye Care Partners, cozy up with Ashley Furniture from Gilworth Furniture, and find that dazzling diamond from Gardner Collier Jewelry. When you're done, grab a bite to eat at Mir and Cheeto or the Pizza Ranch. It's all at Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Shop, walk, and enjoy Penn Central Mall.
Oskaloosa 14, Mount Pleasant 14. The Mount Pleasant marching band out there putting on their show. And while they're doing that, you can take a good look, maybe hear a little bit. Well, just a quick recap of what happened in that first half. Oskaloosa had one very nice drive down the field that resulted in eventually, after a couple of nice first down catches by Tanner DeCock and Cole Henry each, it was eventually a 3-yard touchdown run by Casey Hill to get Oskaloosa on the scoreboard. But before that happened, that was a good answer from Oskaloosa's offense, because previously they had a couple of really bad mistakes, including Seth Howard dropping a snap early in that first quarter. on what was a second and very long. He was intending to throw it away into open ground, so his team had a chance to live to fight for third down instead of just jiving on the football and losing another 6 yards. But instead, he lobbed it up with his underhands, and it was really easily picked off and ran in for a touchdown by Kieran Cohorst. Cohorst eventually would strike again for Mount Pleasant as he would score on a 17-yard touchdown catch on 3rd and 12 late in the first half. Oskaloosa would get the football back. Couldn't do anything with it, but Oskaloosa was able to force a turnover with less than a minute to go. Zach Beeson, on what was a 3rd and 8, decided that it was a good idea to throw it down the field, try to take a shot on Oskaloosa, but Alex DeYoung, his 5th interception of the season on the far sideline, and while he was wrapped up by the intended target, he ended up pitching it backwards to Jaden Van Rukel on the run, who got some good blocks down the field and made it all the way to the 13-yard line in Mount Pleasant territory. After an incomplete pass, a handoff to Casey Hill, he ran it up the gut for 13 yards and a touchdown, and Oskaloosa somehow, some way, after one of the worst halves of football they've played this year or maybe even last year, they somehow are tied 14-all here in Mount Pleasant, and they'll receive the second half kickoff, which is a huge break for the Indians, knowing that they can go ahead in this game after playing so poorly for the most part in the first half. Now, Oskaloosa, of course, Jake Jenkins, not necessarily a big rah-rah guy. The rah-rah he does, and he saves for practice, but he makes sure his guys are ready. He's very interested with the defensive side of the football, and we've seen that with a lot of changes and a lot of interesting looks they've given. Outside of the late touchdown drive by Mount Pleasant, there hasn't been a whole lot of options that Mount Pleasant has been able to execute offensively, either running or passing the football, but the big interception and pitch from DeYoung to Van Rukel and the return from Van Rukel, along with some good special teams work, both kicking and receiving kicks for Oskaloosa, has been a big bright spot as well, as the Indians find themselves tied at 14, and we'll see what kind of adjustments they make as they come into the second half. Let's go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll have more on the halftime show, get you set for what's happening not only the rest of tonight but also tomorrow on our radio stations here on the No Coast Network.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
Main Street Oskaloosa is dedicated to giving our community the downtown they want and deserve. We bring vibrant community events like Art on the Square, Christmas in July, and the Lighted Christmas Parade to downtown Oskaloosa. We believe in the unique value of our district and work to support business here. Our city's history is important, and it drives our efforts in the revitalization and preservation of downtown. In 2017, we received the Signature Project Award for our inspiring and innovative placemaking efforts. Our goal is a downtown Oskaloosa can be proud of. For more information, contact Emily Brown at 641-672-2591.
We love to help people with their smiles. Petrito Orthodontics of Ottumwa and Oskaloosa is all about creating beautiful smiles and increased self-esteem that lasts a lifetime. We specialize in creating individualized smiles by committing to make each visit a memorable experience. Our office is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to ensure optimum results. For help with your smile, call Petrito Orthodontics.
For over 30 years, Pellet Printing has been leading the way in the print industry with quality equipment, modern facilities, and skilled staff. The Pella approach combines old world craftsmanship with today's cutting-edge technology to provide brilliant printed products at a value price. They take the time to understand clients' needs from design to pre-press to printing and delivery to build lasting relationships with their customers. Whether you need personalized graduation announcements, oversized posters and banners, marketing materials, or stationery, Pella Printing offers a broad assortment of quality printed products done with speed and precision. Pella Printing, where technology and craftsmanship meet.
MCG's new gigabit internet is here, and it's a real gig deal!
Connect all your devices, download an HD movie in 7 seconds.
Get unlimited use, no limits, no data caps, and no slowdown.
And stream a video with no buffering, ever.
Work, play, create, innovate with MCG internet.
Call to get your upgrade free for 30 days.
Buffering video, spinning wheels are over!
You deserve the best, and MCG delivers.
Providing high-quality professional eye care with a truly caring staff is what Oskaloosa Vision Center has been doing for more than 30 years. With our state-of-the-art equipment, we can provide comprehensive eye exams, prescription glasses, and contact lenses, as well as medical care like eye infection and disease treatment, emergency eye care, and pre- and post-operative aid. Newborn to adult, we have the experience to meet all your eye care needs. Oskaloosa Vision Center. Come see us today.
At the half, 14-14 the score. Oskaloosa is tied with Mount Pleasant, and we're going to take this time while we're at the half, and the band's still out there doing their thing for Mount Pleasant, and they have a great show here. Oskaloosa actually getting their marching band competition season underway this Saturday, so good luck to the Marching Indians as well. It's a very good marching band they have here in Mount Pleasant, and we've seen that here from this halftime show. But coming up later tonight, we also have the game of the week going on currently. The score there is 40-6. Twin Cedars leading at the end of three quarters over Tri-County and Thornburg. Brian Myers and Kylie Broadway on the call for that one. But after that game goes final, tune in on 104.9 FM KBOE as soon as our game is over for Scores and More presented by Bubbler. That is going to be with Taylor Howard, giving you all the scores from our listening area, not only our listening area, but also the top 10s in the state, and getting you set for everything that's happening in the districts after 2 weeks of district play for the most part for most of our area teams. Then, of course, tomorrow we have the Indian Power Hour. If you're an Oskaloosa fan or supporter, be sure to check it out. That is going to be 9 a.m. on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN and RadioKMZN.com. Then at about 12:45, tune in for William Penn University football. It is going to be the William Penn Statesmen looking to bounce back from a rough showing against Mid-American Nazarene last week. They'll be hosting Central Methodist, and you can listen to that live on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN and RadioKMZN.com. Then the Iowa Hawkeyes at 12:30 on 104.9 FM KBOE is going to have their pregame show beginning, so be sure to join them for that, as they'll be a big favorite as they take on North Texas, looking to move to 3-0 on the year. Hawkeye football on KBOE tomorrow. That is what we have coming up the rest of the week. Of course, next week is homecoming in Oskaloosa, and we'll have broadcasting from the volleyball game against Newton live in Oskaloosa, and of course the big football game on Friday night against Solon. Oskaloosa hopes to be 3-1 by that point, but they have some work to do, as at the half they currently have themselves a 14-14 tie right here. And we'll take one more break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half for you as Oskaloosa and Mount Pleasant knotted at 14. You're listening to it and watching it live right here on the No Coast Network.
Dreams start early, illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in today.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real.
You have the opportunity to participate in activities.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class.
I am a leader.
I am a trailblazer.
I'm proud to be a statesman.
Our roots are here in the middle of America, where humble beginnings can grow into great opportunities. Where hard work and high standards are the key ingredients to success. Where honesty and integrity matter. We're proud of our roots, proud to be a part of a community that shares our values, and grateful to our customers for giving us the opportunity to grow.
Whatever they went through,
they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
Experience the Bruxforts difference. We aim to provide you with the best value and better service than can be found anywhere else. After 36 years, we're still as committed to our customers and our community as the day we first opened our doors. Please stop in and give us a chance to prove how important our customers are to us.
At the half, Oskaloosa and Mount Pleasant tied at 14. Just one of many area scores that we'll be paying attention to. And if you want all those scores are more presented by Bubbler after we wrap up. And you can tune in live 104.9 FM KBOE. That show will be starting shortly after we have the final score of that game of the week between Twin Cedars and Tri-County. But Doug the Cock back up here with me in the booth, and you feel great if you're Oskaloosa, having played so poorly offensively and having a 14-14 game, and you get the football back, a chance to maybe fix some things here immediately coming out of the halftime break. And we were talking off air. You mentioned you go down and score on this first drive. All of a sudden, Mount Pleasant feels like they have this game in control with the football, feeling confident enough to take a deep shot, but instead they throw a pick, and it turns out to lead to Oskaloosa points. And for a guy like me who likes to play a lot of things safe more often than not, you could be down 7 just like you were up 7 in a matter of a couple of minutes in game time, and that's not going to sit well, I think, on that Panther sideline.
Well, and we've been controlling the line of scrimmage. I got to give kudos out to our interior line, both offense and defense. I think they've done a pretty decent job tonight. The other guys are the ones that have to pick it up. I mean, we've controlled the line of scrimmage tonight. Usually when you do that, you win football games. But we're making so many mental mistakes and so many errors that this game is tied at 14, which, as you mentioned, we're lucky to be at 14. So let's see if we can, and we'll say it again, clean things up. I mean, we had a lot of penalty yards, 2 turnovers, throwing 2 turnovers, and you're just mixing a recipe for disasters, what you're doing. And sooner or later, it's going to get you.
Well, all you got to do is survive the rest of this week and try to get to that Solon game, still 2-0 in the district. That's the first thing you want to worry about.
Well, you get through here, and then you just got to get through this half and get the win and get out of here. And, Jared Cruz has not played this half either, and we mentioned it before the game. We're playing without now 5 starters.
It just kind of depends on what you quantify as a starter.
Backups.
Guys could be starters are also out as well. So, hey, if you're Oskaloosa, right now it's just a matter of attrition, trying to make sure that you survive, get to that Solon game. Not a lot of people are expecting a win against Solon.
No.
But if you can steal one there, then you're in really good shape. But to get to that point, you need to win this one first. And they'll get the football to start things off. The teams are getting back to their sidelines. And the return teams for Oskaloosa have been fantastic. Hill and Miller back once again to receive. And Mount Pleasant probably going to be a little careful this second half with those return guys, because if it wasn't for Tyler Miller on those returns, Oskaloosa could even be in worse shape in this ball game.
Well, and I mentioned it. I think it's it might be Brant Brown. He does a really good job of getting back. He's over there on that other side.
Yep.
You watch him. He sprints back and gets turned back and coming upfield, and usually gets a pretty good block on his guy. And for big return yards to happen, you obviously got to be getting your hat on somebody and creating a crease there. And Miller's been able to find it a couple times.
Also don't want to leave too early, because that's when you'll get caught with that onside kick situation. But either way, we're getting ready to start the second half. You're listening to us live on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN. RadioKMZN.com. We'll have live video of this available on our archive tomorrow, so be sure to join us for that. We could not, due to internet concerns here at Mount Pleasant, have the video live for you here. But we're getting set to go. Ball is teed up, and it looks like it's going to be Mason Ashton who actually is going to be kicking this one away for the Panthers. They wearing those maroon uniforms, Oskaloosa in all white, trimmed in maroon. 14-14 our score. Ashton tees it up, and he will boot it away It'll be Miller having to field it on a hop back at his 8-yard line, going straight up the field. Not a lot of great blocks this time, but he makes a couple of guys miss and gets to the outside of the 25. Still on his feet trying to get loose, but he'll be pushed out of bounds about the 23-yard line. That guy, as small as he is, he just will not go down.
No, he's a tough runner. You're right. Not a lot of great blocks. I saw one guy go back there and he didn't hit anybody. And it's these breakdowns on.
And this is the one part of the game that's been great for Oskaloosa so far.
Yeah, and come out of the locker room there and you drop back and you don't hit anybody on a kickoff return. I mean, you find somebody. It's just things like that if I was a coach.
It's putting Doug DeCock in his grave early,
Oh,
folks.
my goodness.
Either way, Oski's got it. They'll mark it at the 25-yard line, give him forward progress there. 3 wide receivers to the near side. One to the far side is Henry, and you got Seth Howard back in the gun to start things off for the Indians. Ball in the far hash, a handoff straight up the gut hill, plenty of running room, and he's going to be wrangled around the head and neck area. And there's a late
they
flag.
got a horse collar on that.
Or maybe a face mask, one or the other.
So what he just did, and we talked about this a couple games ago, when he's lined up to the right of the quarterback, the hole is going to be back to the left of the center. You've got to plant and cut back, and he just did that.
He'll kind of gimpy as he leaves the field. Miller will come in. It's going to be personal foul, face mask is the call. So give 15 more at the end of that run. So 10 yards on the run, 15 on the penalty, and penalty yards have to be at least equal at this point now. And that'll move the ball all the way out to midfield.
The defenses are going to shift to that strong side. So if he's the running backs to the right of the quarterback, they're going to shift to their left, our right. The hole's going to be back up the field to the left of the center there, and Hill did a good job of finding it that time.
3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side, ball in the far hash at midfield, 1st and 10 Oskaloosa. Fake handoff. Howard's going to keep it himself in a little read option, makes a couple of guys miss, does well to just get across the line of scrimmage and gets 4 yards, picking his way forward. You talked about that play being successful last week, but that's the first time we've actually seen him get loose on that run here this game.
Well, that was an excellent run by Howard. He made 3 or 4 guys miss. That should have been a no gain or a 1-yard gain, and he did a great job of slipping some tackles in there and getting 4 good yards.
2nd and 6 at the Mount Pleasant 46-yard line. Howard with Miller next to him, takes a snap. He will hand it to Miller this time. He shoots straight up the gut. He's inside the 35, and he is going to be brought down inside the 30. The tackle was made by Jake Lowe, but not before a great yardage gained. Give him 17 on the play, and Oskaloosa has a 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. It's the ground game.
Well, and we talked about it. I mentioned going in, I thought they might come out and do this. Good job by the coaches. After Hill scored, I thought they could run the ball, and that's exactly what they're doing.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line in Mount Pleasant territory. 3 wide receivers near side. They'll fake the handoff to Miller, and Howard's got plenty of running room inside the 20, inside the 15, breaks a tackle. He's going to go all the way.
And no flags. That's the first thing I'm looking for.
No flags on the play. 2 players, Johnson and Lowe, collided trying to bring him down. It was kind of like that Michael Vick run that's so legendary. He was breaking tackles, making guys hit each other as they tried to bring him down. Give him 29 on the run, and Oskaloosa has their first lead of the game at 20-14.
And he didn't hesitate. He hit the hole, and he ran hard right away. He wasn't pitter-patter with his feet, and he ends up getting the touchdown.
Quickly as well, 10:41 on the clock, 3rd quarter. Howard will lay down the hole, and Blom boots through the extra point in Oskaloosa. The offense seems to be clicking right now. After a quick 1 minute and 19-second drive, a 29-yard touchdown run by Seth Howard, and Oski's got a 21-14 lead. We'll have a quick break and be back with the kickoff after this, right here on the No Coast Network.
Swim Sports is once again open in Oskaloosa. This is Doug DeCock, the new owner of Swims. Along with Doug Swim, we are happy to be open again. Swims has a wide variety of trophies, plaques, and engraving available to Oskaloosa and the surrounding areas. We have an assortment of uniforms, socks, and belts, along with other sporting goods at the store. Swim Sports also provides a full screen printing facility for your screen printing needs. Come check out the new store at 118 A Avenue East in Oskaloosa. The 2 Dougs would love to see you at Swim Sports.
Oskaloosa with a nice drive and with no pass attempts go right down the field. 75 yards with the help of a 15-yard face mask penalty as well. But a 29-yard touchdown scamper on a little read option by Seth Howard. And it was all the ground game that time. Instead of messing around with the passing game, Oskaloosa does a fantastic job getting it straight down the field and taking a 21-14 lead with 10:41 to go in this 3rd quarter.
Well, we talked about it. In less than 2 minutes, Oskaloosa flips a 14-7 deficit to a 21-14 lead.
And another touchback for Mr. Touchback, Aaron Blom.
Well, nice job by the Indians coming out of the locker room. And especially Seth Howard. I've been a little critical of him up here the first half and some of his decision-making.
It wasn't his best half of football.
Kudos to him right there. He stepped his game up a little bit, ran a little harder and quicker, and it paid off for him. So good job by Seth coming out and looking much sharper here early in the third.
10:41 to go here in this third quarter after the third touchback of the game for Aaron Blom. 21-14 Indians lead, and Mount Pleasant the football for the first time behind on the scoreboard. 4 wide, 2 to each side. Beeson takes a snap, looking to throw, nowhere to go, and he's going to be swallowed up in the backfield. Sack, and it's going to be Van Veldhuizen and Dykstra, I think, who are going to share that sack. Satimi was also there, but Beeson, after his first, second, third reads weren't there, he just kind of swallowed the ball and just took the hit.
Well, this is interesting. What Oskaloosa has done since Jared Cruz is unable to play tonight, it looks like, they have moved Big Biscuit, Blake Van Veldhuizen, kind of out to the end here and given him some space, and he is really wreaking havoc in there. I'm not sure if they're moving him to different spots along the line, but right now he's playing like a left end, and he's doing a heck of a job out there.
And Butler and Satimi doing a great job on the interiors. Here's a handoff, and once again running into the teeth of Dykstra, Satimi, and Mitz Butler, and they're right there on the stop, right on cue, and it's going to be third and about 13 now from their own 17 for Mount Pleasant, and this is where the defense has thrived so far in this game.
Well, and Mount Pleasant is trying to run in right into the teeth of our defensive line there, and those young fellas, Satimi, Butler, they're doing a great job up front. We're really getting some good play on our defensive line right now.
4 wide receivers, 2 to each side here. Ball on the far side hash. Out of the gun. Beeson takes a snap, fakes a handoff. He's got time this time. Fires a short pass to Magnani, and he can't make the catch. Silvers was there anyways if he did catch it, and that was only going to be a minimal gain. And it's going to be 4th and long here for the Panthers after a short 3 and out. Oskaloosa's offense due to get it back here.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Coach Jenkins, I knew they had a little wrinkle, and that's what it is. But if I'm Mount Pleasant, I'm going to try to get outside of Blake Van Veldhuizen's containment. But he's doing a heck of a job out there right now. We need to catch the ball on this punt return. We'll have good field position.
Lamb has been great punting the football.
Good one.
Look at that. That is a beautiful kick. Miller catches it at the 42 in his own territory and is going to be swallowed up by Lowe immediately. So he's able to make the catch. But it was a great job by Jake Lowe and Keegan Rich, and a great punt once again by Chase Lamb.
Once again, good job by Tyler Miller. If that ball hits, that's a 15, 20-yard roll, and instead we got the ball at our own 43. So good job by Tyler catching the ball in the air, getting a few positive yards.
Absolutely. Good job all the way around. Good punt, good coverage, good catch. Yep. Everything was good there. Now Oskaloosa's offense back at it. 9:12 to go third quarter. They lead it 21-14 with the momentum right now. And 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Ball on the far hash going from right to left are the Indians. Howard in the gun. One back next to him. He takes a snap. He will fake the handoff, and he's going to keep it again going to the outside, and will be brought down after a gain of about 3, maybe 4. On that far side of the field, the tackle was made by Cohorst.
Well, I'm not sure. Somebody might have said something to Seth Howard at halftime, because he is running with much more aggression this half. That's another 3-4 yard gain, and he's not hesitating. They could throw the ball to Tanner right here, and he's going to get 5 yards.
The snap, they're going to do exactly that. He catches it, turns it upfield, gets a little bit of a block, and cuts it back out, and he gets exactly 5 yards, Doug, right to the 49 in Mount Pleasant territory. Nostradugmus up here in the box, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 3 here for Oskaloosa on the Mount Pleasant 49, and they quickly line it up. They have 2 wide receivers again to each side.
Well, you don't have Hill's not in there. I don't like running Miller up the middle with his size.
Howard takes the snap. They'll run it up the middle with Miller, and he's going to break through the first wave and is going to be tackled from behind by Mason Ashton, but not before he gets to the 40 and gets to the 37-yard line, a pickup of 12, and Oskaloosa moves the chains on 3rd and 3, going right up the gut with the little man.
Yeah, nice job. His quickness got him through there.
How about that offensive line?
Yeah, the offensive line is still doing a fantastic job. Nathan Labrecht filling in tonight and doing a wonderful job on the offensive line.
8:05 to go third quarter. Oski leading by 7, 21-14. Here's another handoff, but Miller's caught in the backfield. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, though. Good job on the read immediately off the line of scrimmage by Nick Steffens, a kind of an undersized defensive lineman, but got into the backfield quickly and picked up the tackle.
Tell you what, if we would fake that cross, I used to call it a cross buck action, fake that, roll Seth to the right, he would have all day to run, or a receiver would break open for a big play there.
Yeah, it's kind of what we see in the read option game these days, just try to see where that end's going. Either way, it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 37 in Mount Pleasant territory. They'll hand it to Miller again. This time he has space, and he's going to get all the way down to the 30, and he still was fighting for yardage. He's going to pick up 7 there.
Tyler Miller really running hard. Both our quarterback and Miller running hard. The offensive line doing a good job. We're in 2-down territory here.
And not needing to throw a pass to move the football here, which is impressive considering the fact Oskaloosa likes to throw it and has done well the last couple weeks throwing the football.
Tanner's clapping. He wants it now. This guy's pulled in a little bit here.
3rd and 3 at the 30. Here's a snap. They'll fake the handoff, and Howard's got another big hole right up the middle. He's inside the 10, and he'll score again.
There they go. Good read by Howard. They went for Miller on the fake, and Howard pulled it back in, just like against Fort Madison. So the Oskaloosa running game is really alive right now.
A 30-yard touchdown by Howard on the exact same play he scored from 29 the last drive, and we are just past 5 minutes into this third quarter, and Oskaloosa's offense has already had to have more yards than they had in the entire first half, and they are definitely feeling it good right now. Extra point, Blom is on for it. The hold from Howard, the kick is on the way, and it is good. 28-14, Oskaloosa has scored 21 straight in the last 6 minutes of game time, and they are feeling very good about their performance right now. They'll be kicking off after this quick break right here on the No Coast Network.
Providing high-quality professional eye care with a truly caring staff is what Oskaloosa Vision Center has been doing for more than 30 years. With our state-of-the-art equipment, we can provide comprehensive eye exams, prescription glasses, and contact lenses, as well as medical care like eye infection and disease treatment, emergency eye care, and pre- and post-operative aid. Newborn to adult, we have the experience to meet all your eye care needs. Oskaloosa Vision Center. Come see us today.
Well, about an hour ago, we were talking about how bad Oskaloosa was playing offensively, and at this point, after a big interception by Alex DeYoung and a pitch to Jaden Van Rukel, which really twisted the momentum quite a bit, Oskaloosa punches in a 13-yard run at the end of the first half with Casey Hill to go into the half tied at 14, and both possessions they've had it in the first 5 minutes and 6 seconds of this third quarter. They have marched it right down the field with the running game. Seth Howard scoring from runs of 29 and 30 yards. Just like that, Oskaloosa a 28-14 lead with all of the momentum in the building on their side, and Aaron Blom set looking for his 4th touchback.
Yeah, and we also mentioned, man, it'd be nice to see them play well and see what they can do, and they sure did it.
What do you know, another touchback by Aaron Blom.
That one could have been caught.
It was a low line drive, but
that's like a half a sack. We'll give him a half a touchback.
Hey, he could have 5. He would be 5 for 5 now if they didn't tell him to squib it at the end of the first half.
He didn't have enough air under that one.
At the end of the first half, we do have some first half stats. Jody Steinlage helping us out, and just looking at it, it was not pretty. We'll get to that in a little bit, but big thanks to her for helping out.
Yeah.
She, the Steinlage's already, under it with William Penn Sports, and for them to, split up and give us.
And that's not an easy job to do. She's doing it by herself tonight. So big thank you to Jody for filling in. And she usually works with her husband, but I think she's going solo tonight.
She is solo. He had a volleyball game tonight to cover at home. So here's a little handoff on a reverse to Magnotti. He's going to get about 6 or 7 yards. That's the second time they've run that play, and they've done pretty well with it each of the first 2 times they've run it. He gets 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 26-yard line in the territory of Mount Pleasant.
So Blake has now moved to the opposite side, it looks like.
Yeah, they're just kind of changing it up. They kept the tackles in the same spot, but they have Dykstra and Van Veldhuis on the opposite side, so they're trying to wear out different linemen each possession, I think.
Well, and I know they wanted to take some shots at Cohorse with Blake off the line and really make him think about it.
Well, he's lined up in the slot now. Here's a quick snap, and Beeson, he's going to be looking deep toward DeYoung, but it's out of play.
Not where you want to go. Why would you try to go towards him?
Well, they've already tested him once, and it didn't work out. They also tested Silvers a couple of times, and he's played good defense. The coverage for both teams in the pass game has been great. That has definitely been the highlight for both teams defensively, the fact that the coverage just has been fantastic. Nobody's had a broken down coverage. The issue has been the fact that Oskaloosa now can run the football, and Mount Pleasant had a pick 6, which helped them score on one of their 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and if Mount Pleasant doesn't get a first down here, Oskaloosa could be, what was that they used to sing on Monday Night Football? It could be turn out the lights here if Oskaloosa takes it and
turn
and
out
scores
the lights,
again.
the party's over.
Dandy Don Meredith, that's what I was trying to think
6:06 to go, and Mount Pleasant's got to burn one. 28-14 the score. We'll go ahead and keep it here. First half stats, I didn't have them earlier, so let's just go ahead and mention this. 72 rush yards from Mount Pleasant, 70 yards in the air. They really didn't get much going at all, but they had a pick 6, which helped. 58 rushing yards for Oskaloosa and 147 in the air, but a lot of those came on the first couple of drives, and Oskaloosa was only able to punch one of those in for a score. With that all being said, you find yourself in a position at the half where you feel good if you're Oskaloosa at 14-all, but now at 28-14 and getting, with Mount Pleasant facing a 3rd and 3 here, a chance to maybe get off the field again and get the football back, you got to feel like, whatever was said at halftime and whatever adjustments were made, we can tell you what the adjustment was. Let's just run the football. But other than that, just the energy Oskaloosa's had coming out here in the second half has been unbelievable.
Well, energy and adjustments. Let's credit the coaching staff. They came out, they made some adjustments, I'm sure, in their line blocking, and it has freed things up big time. So Coach Eversmeyer, the guys up here in the booth, they're the ones that notice that stuff, and good job by our coaches adjusting.
Here's the snap. 4 wide receivers out of the timeout. Beeson looking to throw. Now he rolls out. Kraber is in his face. The throw to the near side is going to be incomplete as Ashton couldn't hold on to it while he was tippy-toeing along the sideline. That brings up a 4th and 3, and dangerous time for Mount Pleasant as they will punt it away here with 5:59 to go here in the third quarter, trailing Oskaloosa 28-14, and Miller goes back once again to receive a punt from Chase Lamb. This has been a strong point for Mount Pleasant in this game, but just having the punt unit out there is bad.
If you're Oskaloosa, do not leave. Watch for a fake here.
Lamb will boot it away. Missed it.
Uh-oh.
He shanks it.
Oh, my.
I just got done talking.
Way over there at the 30-yard line. It's at Oskaloosa's 30. The referees don't even know where the ball is. He kicked it back to Fairfield. And I was just going to say, it's one of the best punters I've seen all year.
He's been unbelievable. Looks like we have some cramping going on over there on the far sideline as Oskaloosa. Somebody's over there, can't quite tell who it is.
Yeah, it's a cramp, and we talked about it.
They're marking it at the 32-yard line. That's a punt of 5 yards. Ouch.
Wow.
From a guy who really has kicked it well tonight.
Now, and I don't want to get too caught up on this, but in district play and tiebreakers,
you got to get to 17.
The maximum amount of points you can get is 17, and that's key if you can get over that when it comes to playoff time.
It was Silvers, by the way, Calvin Silvers, and he'll limp off after the cramp. But either way, what you were saying is really important, because especially considering the fact that there are 2 wild cards here. It's not like it's really simple, guys. Let's just win. If you have a situation where, guys, we want to win, but we also want to win big, because that gives us an opportunity with that point differential tiebreak to maybe squeeze in one of those 2 wild card slots. And that's why it's so important to win by 17 plus in every game you do win, and try to lose by less than 17 if you do lose.
Well, and we got 3 games that we talked about later on this year that are definite 17-point win games. So you're looking at, if you can do that tonight, 5 games that you won in district by at least 17, that's going to put you in a good position no matter what.
Even if you lose by 17 in the other 2 games.
Right.
Because that's what's going to happen in a lot of districts, is a team is going to lose 2 games by over 17 points and win the rest of them by 17 plus. You got to put yourself in that same mix as Oski comes out after the shank of a punt by Lamb. 4 wide receivers, 1st and 10 from the Mount Pleasant 32-yard line. It's going to be Miller again, just trudging forward. He'll be eventually stopped with the forward momentum, and they'll mark him down to the 28, a gain of 4. For a small guy, he just runs really hard in the middle there. Casey Hill was on defense, so it's not as though he cannot play. They're just rolling with the hot hand right now.
Well, I love this, because we're doing exactly what I talked about. We're getting 4 yards. We're just grinding it up there. We're not getting stopped for no yards or negative yards. Our offensive line is controlling this game.
5:20 left here in this third quarter. Oski football, 4 wide receivers. Howard fakes the handoff. He rolls out. This is the first pass play of the half, and he's just going to throw it at the feet of Van Leuven, just trying his best to not make a massive mistake. That is the first time we've seen a pass play trying to catch Mount Pleasant off guard, and once again, they had great coverage.
Well, and it was good coverage by Mount Pleasant. And I like the call. They've been pounding it inside, getting 4. If you're Mount Pleasant, you got to start selling out to the middle to stop it. And somebody could have leaked free there, but Mount Pleasant did a good job on that.
It'll be 3rd and 6 now from the 28-yard line in Mount Pleasant territory. Howard takes a snap, looking to throw again. Pump fakes, and now he wants to run up the middle. Gets inside the 30 and loses a yard. It'll bring up a 4th and 7 or so, and it looks like Blom's going to come on for an attempt. He's been kicking it really heavy this direction, and this will be a 47-yard attempt for him.
And what little wind there is looks like it might be at his back.
I believe you are correct. So he's got 4 touchbacks all to this direction, and he's lining up right in the middle of the field for what will be, as we're going to stop.
Shoestring. Problem.
Yeah, they got a lineman who's trying to make an adjustment. Nobody, of course, back to return. We don't really see that. You see it in the NFL sometimes on long field goal attempts, but you miss this. It's just on the 20-yard line. And all you have to do is make sure it doesn't get blocked at the line of scrimmage. Cole Henry is the snapper.
This is a big kick. This is put you up 3 scores.
And it would put you up to that 17 mark. Blom right in the middle of the field, maybe a hair to his left. 4.5 left in the 3rd quarter. The snap, the hold is down. The kick is high on the way. It's got the distance, but it is to the right. So
well, the snap was in the ground. It wasn't a good snap.
Oh, he got it down, but that'll just be a touchback as Oskaloosa, once again, Blom is 0 for on the season, but he's given him a ride, giving him a few shots. And I talked to Coach Jenkins about this. Even though he hasn't done anything, the rule puts it in his advantage. He can just try to score points every time he thinks he's close enough and not feel like he's losing much in field position because the ball will get marked to the 20 every time anyways.
Well, and to his defense, there's got to be a good snap, a good hold. Once in a while, though, he seems to kick the ball a little fat. And by that, he hits the bottom of the ball and gets extra spins in it. And sometimes, like that one, almost didn't make it there, which we know he's got plenty of leg to get it there.
Yeah, just kind of miss-hit that one a little bit. Bad snap. It's still on the ground, and Beeson eventually just falls on it as Oskaloosa was coming into the backfield. That time, it looked like it was just kind of harmlessly sitting at his feet, and he picked it up a couple of times, just couldn't get a hold of it. And he just had to land on it. Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12 from their own 18.
Well, if you're Oskaloosa defense now, the one thing you cannot do is allow a big play. You've got to play good, solid defense. Don't let them have any big plays. They're struggling big time right now. And just keep doing what you're doing, but do not let anybody break loose.
4 wide receivers, 2 to each side, 3:50 left. It's going to be just a handoff to Puig right up the gut. Nothing there. Dykstra, the first man there. And it looked like also in there was Keegan Mitz-Butler, the sophomore, having a great game in the interior for Oskaloosa along the defensive line. 3.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Oski leading at 28-14, and now it's 3rd and 12 for Mount Pleasant.
And I'll tell you what, I guarantee you Blakeman Veldhuizen is absolutely loving this. Getting moved around and not knowing where he's at all the time. And they can't key on him and double team him. And
give credit to Nick Dykstra. They're kind of moving him and switching him up with Van Veldhuizen on the ends, which you don't see Blake on the end too much. And because of injuries, he's out there. Here's the snap, and they're going to be looking for a screen. They cover the screen, and Beeson has nowhere to go with the football. Van Veldhuizen now forces him out, but it's a foot race now to get to the edge, and it's going to be a dive at the end by Beeson. Where did he step out? They're going to say 3 yards shy, maybe 2 yards shy at the 28. Cade Snakenberg, who's in the game after Silvers had the cramp. Snakenberg forces him out of bounds, and it'll bring up 4th and 2.
Well, and we did a great job covering it. I think it might have been Tanner recognized the screen coming, was able to cover it, but
and Dykstra also kind of pulled back.
Got to take a better angle at the ball. He's running parallel to the line of scrimmage, and he's letting the running back get his shoulders turned, and he was able to get 5 or 6 yards. You got to take an angle and cut him off, and this would have been a 4th and long. Now, if you're Oskaloosa, you got to watch for the fake right here to the short back.
This is going to be 4th and 2 at their own 28. Lamb again going to try to punt it away. Takes the snap, and he will boot it. This one, another good one.
Catch it.
It's going to be fair caught at the 39-yard line by Tyler Miller, and Oskaloosa will get it back. So Cade Snakenberg comes up clutch with a nice angle to force Beeson out of bounds after the screen wasn't there, and he had all day to stand there and just wait to see what would happen. And they punt it back to Oskaloosa with 2:51 left third quarter, 28-14 to score. The Indians with a 14-point lead in the football at their own 39-yard line, and we'll see after they missed the field goal last time out if they can regain that the movement they had in previous drives.
Well, and that was a uplifting for Mount Pleasant to hold them. So if you're Oskaloosa, you need to get a score here because Mount Pleasant might wrestle momentum back from you.
Here's the fake handoff. Howard's got plenty of space on this outside edge, gets a couple of blocks, spinning forward, and he's going to gain about 5 to the 44-yard line. And it's just kind of methodical when they're running the football right now, 4, 5, 6 yards, and then Howard has broke off a couple of long touchdown runs.
Well, that was a good play right there. Tanner and Cole Henry out here hung with their blocks as long as they could, allowed Seth to get about 5 yards. We'll take second and 5 all day long right now.
It's 2 wide receivers to each side. They actually spot him after a 4-yard gain at the 43-yard line, 2nd and 6. Ball in the near hash. Howard in the gun will take the snap, fakes the handoff again and keeps it, trying to get to the outside, but nothing there. Cohorst, he's been quiet tonight. He did have what was the pick 6 and then the touchdown catch to account for their 2 touchdowns. But outside of that, that is the first time we've said his name. And
he's down right now.
Is that him who's down after the tackle? It is Cohorst, slow to get up. He is trying to work his way back to his feet, but that would be monumental for Mount Pleasant if their biggest target now with McGackey hurt. And he's going to walk off on his own power, so something just odd happened there. A loss of 4 on the play. That's just a good individual effort by a guy who they are relying on now to be a big play guy for them, and now that'll bring up a 3rd and 10 for Oskaloosa at their own 39-yard line.
Well, Howard made the right read on that. He pulled it out, made the right read. If there was going to be any place to run, it was going to be up inside. Blake was kicking Cohorst outside, and Seth tried to go to the outside and kind of pushed him right into where he was going, but pretty good job by Mount Pleasant. Sometimes you got to tip your hat to the defense and say, hey, good job.
3rd and 10 here for the Indians. 2 wide receivers to each side, ball on the far side hash. Howard takes a snap. He's got some time to throw. Now his coverage is going to break down. His protection breaks down. He rolls to the right. Now he's going to try to run for it. He's going to get about 5 before being wrestled to the ground, and that'll bring up a 4th and 5. The last thing you want to do is throw it up into tight coverage. The passing situations for Oskaloosa just have not gone well in this game so far. That the one scoring drive that they just dink and dunked it down the field is slow to get up and get off the field was Tanner DeCock on the far side, but it's a punt situation for the Indians now on 4th and 5. Other than that one drive, though, Doug, the passing game just has not worked in any way, shape, or form. It's been the running game that's been giving Oskaloosa all these opportunities here in the second half.
And I'm not sure why. Our line, we had decent protection, and we either we're not getting open or we're not seeing open guys. I'm not sure what's going on our passing game, but the protection's fairly good.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Here's the snap to Van Rukel, who's looking to punt. He does get it high in the air, angled toward the sideline, stays in bounds, and then will go out. They'll mark it out at, apparently it was a little farther. They're going to mark it at the 20. So a solid punt by Van Rukel, and with 1:02 left third quarter, Oski with a 28-14 lead, and it's back to the defense and just kind of keep doing what they've been doing.
Well, yeah, but Mount Pleasant now has stopped the momentum rolling.
A little bit, yep.
They've kind of stemmed the tide here, and now it's up to Oskaloosa to get things going offensively.
A couple of first downs for Mount Pleasant offensively would really start kind of flipping the switch again, momentum-wise.
And one big play, and you're within 1 score again. So this thing is far from over right now.
1:02 to go, third quarter. Here's the snap, looking to throw, and it's going to be a little bubble screen out to Puig. He didn't lead him, so he had to come back for the football, and he's hit hard. The Young forces him back inside, and the big hit was delivered by Van Veldhuizen after a gain of 2.
And that is a big hit. Puig is cramping up now. But Sparky, DeYoung did a great job of releasing his guy. He saw the screen coming out here and went up there and held it to a 2-yard gain. Just once again, an absolutely textbook job by Alex DeYoung at that corner position.
He's just a really cerebral guy. We even see it in baseball. He doesn't really make any mental mistakes.
Well, this is going to be it for Sparky. He's not going to be playing college football, but he is one heck of a corner in high school football.
Absolutely, and good for him to not play college football, because I want to see that kid play some more baseball. That is a good baseball player right there. As Puig is down there, the referee told him just to have a seat on the field. I think he was trying to get himself off the field, but he was not having the not having an easy time of it, so he just told him to have a seat, and they're working out the cramp. We'll keep it here. 44 seconds left, third quarter. Mount Pleasant will have a 2nd and 8 from their own 22. Oskaloosa's defense has been phenomenal in the game. The big defensive play came at the end of the first half. Alex DeYoung got his 5th interception of the year and then pitched it backwards to Jaden Van Rukel, who had nobody in front of him, was able to get all the way down to the 13-yard line in Mount Pleasant territory. 2 plays later, Oskaloosa runs it in with Casey Hill from 13 yards out. And just like that, you went from down 14-7, just trying to get to the half without anything else going on the board against you. And then all of a sudden it's 14-all. Oskaloosa, in the first 5+ minutes of this third quarter, ran the ball exclusively in their first 2 drives, and were able to score on runs of 29 and 30 yards by Seth Howard on little zone reads. And just like that, Oskaloosa had a 28-14 lead. The last 2 drives, Oskaloosa missed a field goal and had to punt it away, but the Mount Pleasant offense hasn't been able to do anything this second half so far. And then their running back, Puig, slowly walking toward the sideline after cramping up. And we'll see here, maybe 1 or 2 more plays left of this third quarter, and Oskaloosa still with a 2-touchdown lead. If they can get the football back to start the fourth quarter, that would be another big momentum boost for the Indians, although their offense has stalled out the last couple of times.
Well, and we need to score again. This thing is not over yet.
3 wide receivers to the far side after the injury timeout, 1 to the near side. 2nd and 8 from their own 22. Ball on the near side hash. Trying to draw Oski offside. They get back onside before the snap. And under pressure is Beeson, and he is going to be drugged down behind the line of scrimmage. Eventually, it's Mitch Butler who'll get credit for the sack, but it was Van Veldhuizen in there. It was Satimi in there. Hill was also around the play, and that very well could be the end of this third quarter. And a loss of 4 on the sack. And that will be the end of the third quarter. Oskaloosa, a fairly dominant third quarter. 2 touchdowns, all running the football. And also defensively, not allowing Mount Pleasant a single first down in the period. Mount Pleasant will be facing 3rd and long when we start the fourth quarter, but the Indians a 28-14 lead. We'll take a short break and be back with the fourth quarter after this, right here on the No Coast Network.
If your savings and investments are sitting on the bench instead of meeting your goals, call Timeout to examine your investment lineup. Your game plan should include getting some investment advice from an experienced investment professional. I'm Bob Auld of Robert Auld Investments, an investment advisor with over 20 years of experience in Oskaloosa and southern Iowa. I would like to assist you with your investment strategies. Call 673-9448 or toll free at 1-800-444-AULD.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your face storm a sandcastle? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the deal.
We're getting ready to start the fourth quarter. 28-14 is the score. Oskaloosa the lead, and Mount Pleasant the football. They'll go from right to left in the fourth quarter. The Panthers have a 3rd and about 13. Ball spotted at their own 18-yard line. And let's look at some scores just quickly. Our game of the week finished up 54-6, the final score, with as now 107 rushing yards for Oskaloosa and just 7 yards passing. 12 total yards for Mount Pleasant in that third quarter. That is unbelievable. Thanks to Jody Steinlager for getting us those stats, but holy cow, 7 total yards. Here's Beeson. He's looking for more here on 3rd and long. Dykstra gets off his block, and he'll help bring him down. Big Biscuits eventually got in there to help him out, but Dykstra single-handedly to shed his blocker, and that'll bring up a 4th and very long here. For 4th and about 20, and this is a half-to-punt situation down by 2 touchdowns with 11:40 to go. Oski needs that next touchdown, though.
Yes, they do, and all his receivers ran go routes there. And they were 35, 40 yards down the field, and Beeson had no chance to throw it that far, and good coverage sack by the Indians there.
We'll have Scores on Scores and more presented by Bubbler coming up after our game is final, so be sure to check that out. That's on 104.9 FM KBOE. As this punt by Lamb, a good one. Miller catches it at his 45-yard line of Mount Pleasant, trying to get outside. Nothing there. He's going to try to squirt forward. He's tough. He won't go down easily, but he'll probably have his net of nothing on the return there.
I'm good with that. He caught the ball. It looked like he didn't see the ball.
Yeah, he kind of misread it a little bit. Well, again, we talked about it. There is a little bit of a wind the other way, and this is the first time Lamb's actually punted this direction. Yeah. So 11:06 to go in regulation. Oskaloosa a 28-14 lead. They got it 1st and 10 at the Mount Pleasant 44. Ball on the far side hash. The Indians on all white, going from left to right. And we'll see if Seth Howard and this offense can continue to run the ball well, because the passing game just hasn't been there. As mentioned, just 7 yards in the pass game in that third quarter, but they had over 100 yards running the football in that third quarter, allowed only 7 yards so far, and that was before the sack.
Yeah,
so
you got to finish this game right here.
This is a drive that could put it away. Hill back in at tailback. You got 4 wide receivers. Howard fakes the snap, looks to the sideline. They'll quickly get back to the line. 1st and 10. Here's the snap. A handoff to Hill, straight up the gut, right to the 40-yard line, gain of 4. 2nd and 6.
We'll take that. We've got to score something right here. We've been playing. It's kind of like the first half. The game was played in our territory. This second half, it's all been played in Mount Pleasant's territory. We scored a couple, but we need to score again right here.
28-14, the Indians lead with still 10:40 to go in the fourth quarter. 15 on the play clock as they look back to the sideline. Miller's actually split out as a wide receiver, which is why Hill is in the game at running back. Miller's been the hot hand at running back so far this half. 2nd and 6. Snap, another handoff. Hill straight up the gut, and he's going to go inside the 30, run over a man, and get all the way down to the 20-yard line. What a fantastic run, and again, the hole is just straight up in the A-gap. Kind of slow to get up, and eventually running down the field that time was Tucker Irwin, but he looks like he's no worse for the wear, and Oskaloosa quickly back to the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10 at the 20 in Mount Pleasant territory.
Pound him right at him. Just snap it and go with Hill right up the middle.
Howard in the gun, 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Trying to draw him offside, but Mount Pleasant able to get back.
Did.
Yeah, almost got him to jump. 10-14 to go. 4 wide. Here's the snap. Fake handoff, and Howard looking to go to the outside. And DeCock gets enough of that block to get him just enough room to squeeze 5 yards out of that play.
Well, I hate that play. I've seen that play last week and the week before, and we got lucky there to gain anything. That play never works. It looks like a broken play to me.
There's a man who DeCock just got enough of on that far side to
cramps.
Some more cramps over there. He's down. But what was interesting is Tanner DeCock is just out there. It looks like he's waiting for either a pass or a pitch. Yeah. And then when he sees that Howard is for sure running the ball, then he tries to kick out block and get him the edge. He got just enough of him to allow him to get 5 yards to the 15, so it'll be 2nd and 5. But I agree with you. It's kind of an ugly play. And that's just a situation where you've run it up the A-gap twice with success, and now you're trying to get them to guess inside and have a little bit more space and real estate. Mount Pleasant's done a pretty good job overall just staying at home in this game, but Oskaloosa really has tore them up on the ground in the second half.
Yeah, I don't like that play. It looks like a broken play to me. You got a receiver standing there that looks like he's confused whether he's supposed to catch the ball, block. He's just standing there. So the defender's right there too. It's just not a very good design play in my book.
But your mood has changed quite a bit in the second half. You like just how they have simplified things offensively.
Well, we talked about it. When Hill scored right before the half, I was like, we need to come out and just run the ball right at him, and that's exactly what they're doing. And once again, credit to the coaches for making some adjustments. I'm sure there were some blocking adjustments on the line there to move these guys out. And Casey's got to remember the hole is a cutback hole. When you're to the strong side, your defense is always going to be shifted to the strong side, which is, by that I mean whatever side the running back is standing of the quarterback.
2nd and 5 as the fellow that was hurt was Mason Ashton, rather. And Ashton will limp off the field after the cramps. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Oskaloosa at the Mount Pleasant 15-yard line, looking to terminate this game with less than 10 minutes to play. Here's the snap, handoff, Hill right up the gut once again, and he's inside the 10. He's got first down yardage, and he'll be dragged down at about the 9. It'll be 1st and goal Oskaloosa, and it just does not get simpler than that.
No, and this is the best that I have seen our offensive line play all year, and it is nice to see this. We can't forget, Washington struggled to score 16 points on this defense. Washington, the number 7 ranked team in the state, and we're just handling them up front.
In the second half, at least. Well, they've up front the whole game. Howard fakes the handoff. He's going to throw out into the flat to Miller, trying to get on the edge, and nice tackle is made that time by Tucker Johnson. Minimal gain of about 2, maybe 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and goal for Oskaloosa at the 6.
You know what? The best part of this is, I haven't seen a yellow flag.
You may have just jinxed him there, Dougie.
Let's hope not.
Hey, every time I say something like that, it kills me, and you know it. I'll say a guy hasn't missed a free throw in like 3 games, and then he'll miss 2 right away.
Isn't it amazing how when you don't have penalties, how you can move the ball up and down the field?
2nd and goal. 3 wide receivers near side, 1 to the far side. In the gun is Howard. He's going to roll left, look back over the middle. Jump ball for Henry.
Got it.
He's got it. Touchdown, Oskaloosa.
Wow, the big fella, the 6'7", Cole Henry, they just lobbed it up to him. Kind of a dangerous pass when you're in point territory there.
It was him and Tucker Johnson at 6 foot even. Both juniors just kind of it was a jump ball, and he was kind of begging for that earlier. But it was a little misdirection, kind of rolled out to where the single coverage was and then threw back across his body, and Henry just going up and getting the rebound, so to speak.
Well, they had 2 guys out on our far receiver split left, so Mount Pleasant not lined up correctly.
Or they just don't want that one-on-one on the far side, but it wasn't Henry there as Blom puts in the extra point. Oskaloosa leading big, 35-14. They are up 3 touchdowns with 8:50 to go in the 4th quarter. We'll take a quick break and be back with more after this right here on the No Coast Network.
Brand names close to home? Then look no further than Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Penn Central Mall has a wide variety of stores for people of all ages. Find the perfect pair of silver or Vigas jeans at Maurice's. Get a pair of Oakley sunglasses from the smiling staff at Eye Care Partners. Cozy up with Ashley Furniture from Gilworth Furniture. And find that dazzling diamond from Gardner Collier Jewelry. When you're done, grab a bite to eat at Mir and Cheeto or the Pizza Ranch. It's all at Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Shop, walk, and enjoy Penn Central Mall.
35-14. It was 14-7 late in the first half. Oskaloosa was down by 7. But that big interception by Alex DeYoung, the pitch to Van Rukel, gets it down inside the red zone. And late in the half, Casey Hill ties the game with a 13-yard touchdown run. And the second half has literally been all Indians.
Yes, it has.
I think they have minus 3 yards offense in the second half.
Wow. Great job by our defense. And really, they've only given up 7 points tonight.
Right. One of those was a pick 6.
And that was a short field, if I'm not mistaken,
about
off of the fake punt.
Here's the kickoff by Blom. This is not going to be a touchback. This is going to be returnable. This is Puig. Puig goes up the gut and gets by a couple of guys, but will be stuffed at about the 25, 26-yard line. And it'll be Mount Pleasant football with a lot of work to do. At very least now, if you're Mount Pleasant, you're looking to save damage because now going down to 2 losses in the district, you're out of the running to win the district pretty much, but you can still have hope, maybe even upset Solon and win out and get yourself in a spot, but you want to try to get under that 17-point margin the best you can.
Well, the way we've looked in this second half, I'm not gonna just toss it in next week against number 1 Solon or whatever they're ranked.
Number 2 in the Radio Iowa poll.
Number 2, we're just manhandling Mount Pleasant right here in the second half.
4 wide receivers for Zach Beeson. The quarterback takes a snap. He'll hand it off to Puig. Straight up the gut. Slips off 1 tackle. Gets across the 30. He's run hard in this game, and they just haven't really gone to him that much.
Well, and that's something I don't want to see here in the last 8 minutes is a bunch of missed tackles. Blake got in there and about got him, but once again, our linebacker has got to clean that up and make the tackle for a 1 or 2 yard gain. Instead, they get 8 yards because of missed tackles. So let's not get sloppy here in the last 8 minutes.
Doug DeCock never stops coaching here in the booth. The man does not want to see any let-up in this Indian team, and the passion exudes. With second and short, second and about 3, they'll hand it to Puig again.
There you go.
DeCock able to hold on for the stop, but it will be first down yardage after a gain of 4 to the 37-yard line. 8 minutes to go and counting after they mark the ball. Oskaloosa in good shape at 35-14, leading by 21 points rather, but that 17-point mark is where you want them to be. And for Mount Pleasant, they're obviously going to sell out everything they can to score a touchdown here on this drive. Still 7:50 to go. They have 2 timeouts. Oskaloosa has their full allotment of 3 timeouts here in the second half.
Much better job there by Tanner meeting the running back in the hole and getting low. Low man wins.
Low snap pulled out by Beeson. Puig trying to get through the line of scrimmage and will get 3.
And DJ Miles is in there, and he's a hitter.
That's the first time we've said his name in action tonight. He's played a little sparingly, but he was a starter week 1, missed the last couple of weeks with a broken rib.
Yeah, it's nice to see him back out there, and that's, we can't overlook the fact these guys are playing without a lot of starters. Jared Cruz, one of their better two-way players, hasn't even seen the field tonight.
I haven't seen him out there at all.
We've got numerous starters out and top reserves, and we still continue to play good football here in the second half.
2nd and 7 from the 40. A little quick throw, sliding and making the catch. This time is Chase Lamb, and that is the first completed pass in this half for Mount Pleasant. And that is going to be marked to the 49, first down after a gain of 9. And with 6:55 to go, 1st and 10 for the Panthers, their first 2 first downs of the entire second half happening right here on this drive. They'll spread out with 4 wide receivers. Beeson sends Magnani in motion. Here's the snap. He's looking to throw. He's got time. Now he's going to get to the outside. No flag is thrown. He's going to turn it up, and Miles, a good open field tackle at about the 44-yard line. And that's just good to see. Like you said, just good to see him out there. And there was the form tackling you were talking about.
Well, nice job there, but we got a tackle or somebody, and he's going out right now. Did not do a very good job of containing. We're moving Blake around, but Keegan Butler is back in there, and he's done a fantastic job tonight. So
they'll spread out just 2 wide receivers here. Split out 2 wide receivers on 2nd and 4. Here's the snap. Beeson's going to hand it to Puig, right up the gut. Just trying to run heavy. Miles, look at that tackle, helping out Tanner DeCock. DeCock had a good tackle wrapped up, but Miles, you talked about it. Second guy's got to finish the tackle, and he did right there. Gain of about 1. And it's going to be 3rd and, we'll call it 3, at the 44-yard line in Oskaloosa territory.
Well, I'm plenty hard on my own kid, Tanner, for a lot of times, but I'm going to give him credit right there. That's a much better job of tackling. He's just not big enough to take a guy and drive him back, and he needs guys like Miles to come clean up the mess once he gets them under control.
3 wide to the far side for the Panthers, 1 to the near side, and the gun is Beeson on 3rd and 3. Here's the snap. He'll look to the left. He'll throw it. And did Lamb pull that in? He did. Good timing route there. Silver's good coverage. Keaton DeCock this time trying to come up in coverage, but that's the second time they've hit a quick slant to Lamb, and he really wasn't much of a target in the first half either. Again, Cohorst, nowhere really to be found on this offense.
Well, we're going to need to make an adjustment on that quick little slant route. That's twice they've got inside of Silver's on that. Now look for them to fake that slant and go up the sideline with a go route here pretty quick.
1st and 10 at the 37 in Oski territory. 2 wide receivers to each side, 1 back. Beeson does get a jump, but they're going to stop the play before the free play is allowed. I believe this is going to be on Oskaloosa for an encroachment. The official? No, they're going to say false start on Mount Pleasant. Interesting.
How about that?
I did not see that one, but apparently somebody flinched, and that's why Mitch Butler fired off the line.
I'm not sure, but I think that keeps the flags at 0 in the second half.
Doug, you are playing with fire right now, my friend.
I'm daring them.
4:40. They haven't really called much on either team in this half. 3 wide receivers to the far side. The snap is a bad snap. Gets past Beeson, and he's just going to fall on it and cover it up on his own side of midfield back to the 47-yard line. So after Mount Pleasant started getting something going here, although Oskaloosa's kind of softened up defensively with the 3-touchdown lead, at 4:37 to go fourth quarter, they'd like to score a touchdown just to get under that 17-point threshold, but now they're facing a second and, let's do the quick math, 25.
Jenkins playing some exotics there. He was bringing a safety blitz with Keaton on the outside, and I think they were going to drop back with their corner, and Keaton gets a nice easy touch tackle there.
4:12 and counting. It's 2nd and 26, we'll call it. The snap, a handoff right up the gut to Puig, and he's going to get just on the other side of midfield.
J. Miles, this is really good to see tonight.
Yeah, Tanner DeCock again got the first hit, and now we got a lineman down dealing with some cramps. You talked about it, and it's kind of creating exactly what you had envisioned. A little prophetic in the pregame that this was going to be an issue.
And one of the reasons I think cramps are more of an issue is a lot, and it's not so bad the last year or two, but kids were drinking a lot of these sport drinks and these different type of I don't know what they're called, but those things zap the water out of you if you're doing it.
I'm a CrossFit. I go to CrossFit to work out, and I asked, because I'm not much of a water guy. I never was. I like stuff that tastes good. So I was like, how about Gatorade or Powerade or whatever? And I mean, as good as that is to just kind of drink, CrossFit coach just said, not while you're working out. That's horrible for you. So
yeah,
just too much stuff in it.
Well, it was the creatine is what really can zap you, and creatine was big about 4 or 5 years ago, and you saw a game get stopped 15 times for guys with cramps because they were taking all this creatine, and I think they've kind of gotten away from that.
Everybody learns a little bit here or there. 3:15 counting here in this fourth quarter. It's 3rd and long. It is going to be Beeson back to throw. He throws it over the middle, and that's going to be a flag. Van Rukel just kind of took a bad route to that as Cohorst. I mean, he was going to get there, but he kind of went through Cohorst to knock the ball down instead of just kind of waiting for Cohorst to clear the area before attacking the ball.
Well, that's 15 yards. Hold on.
It won't be a first down.
Huh?
It won't be a first down.
No, but the guy over there has moved his marker already, so they don't know where the ball. Now he's moved it up 3 yards. He's just walking with the 3rd down marker, so they're going to gain yards there. They're going to count it from where he walked to.
I think they were right that time. I think he got back to the right spot.
The R49?
Mm-hmm. Because of the run by Puig on the previous play. Either way, that's going to bring up it's not an automatic first down in high school, which I think is an absurd rule as well. But it's going to bring up a 3rd and much more manageable here. 3rd, and it looks like 8.
Well, you're in 2-down territory if you're Mount Pleasant.
Absolutely.
So Oskaloosa defense needs to stiffen up right here, and they'll have come and accomplished a great deal here in Mount Pleasant.
3 wide receivers far side. The snap for Beeson. He's got more time to throw, but now he's out of time. Takes a hit, spins out of it, and he's going to look to throw before he crosses the line of scrimmage. Flag in the defensive backfield.
Defensive holding or something over here.
And then a flag behind the play. And I think that official just kind of waited to see where he was, and it's going to be an illegal forward pass. Illegal forward pass. I thought he still threw it behind the line of scrimmage, but they did not give him the benefit of the doubt there. So this will be offsetting penalties, you would imagine. It is, so we'll offset the penalties and do it again.
Yeah, I jinxed this. There's 2 big ones right there. Here we go again. Replay the down.
Yep, so it'll be 3rd and 7.5 or so, and we'll get another 3rd down play here as Beeson, again, was kind of hit as he threw, or was wanting to throw, and then spun out of that tackle and ran right at the line of scrimmage. But a break for Oskaloosa that they called an illegal forward pass that he crossed the line before he let go of the football. Either way, 3rd and 7. 3 wide receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Beeson in the gun at the 34-yard line in Oskaloosa territory. Beeson under pressure. Van Velde has got him, swallows him up. Big-time sack. And just landed on
shoulder.
top of him.
You worry about a shoulder when a big guy lands on you like that.
And that'll bring up 4th and very long here. And does Mount Pleasant go for this, or they just...
Jenkins is having a lot of fun. That time he rushed all his defenders right up on, pressed them right on the line, dared him to beat him on a go route, and Beeson just didn't have any time.
Oskaloosa keeps the defense out there, makes a couple of exchanges personnel-wise, and it looks like Mount Pleasant's just going to say, we're not going to mess around with getting our quarterback hurt anymore here. With less than 3 minutes to go, fourth quarter, we're not winning this game. We're down 3 touchdowns. We're going to boot it away and just count our losses and try to play a little bit better next week.
That guy did not check inside of the numbers, so that should be a penalty.
There it is. And this punt, Van Rukel is back to receive it at the 5. He's looking to return it. And if he gets
Get down.
And he is going to be wrestled down across the 20 to about the 21. If you're Coach Jenkins, you probably just say no thanks on that penalty, right?
I think they're not going to use timeouts.
No, I mean, you just let that flag go, though.
Yeah, you decline that penalty.
Just take it at the 21, and it looks like Cohorst again on the tackle, having some problems getting up from the cramps. My mistake. That is not Cohorst. That is Colby Potts. 80 and 88 look awfully similar with those numbers. So
25, 50. You're about 1 or 2 first downs from doing somehow exactly what you needed to do. Come down to Mount Pleasant and win by at least 17.
It was not pretty the first half. Top of the 10 o'clock hour, you're listening to Oskaloosa Football live here on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN, radio KMZN.com. We'll have live video of this up tomorrow, so be sure to watch this. This is going to be an interesting one to watch, folks. It'll sound weird when you hear me talk about it like this, but due to internet issues here in Mount Pleasant and concerns with your internet, we didn't want to have a broadcast that didn't make it on the air. So we have a radio broadcast live for you. We'll have the video up for you tomorrow. So, and that's with the help, obviously, of our entire video crew with the help of the Oskaloosa video production team at Oskaloosa High School. The Oskaloosa offense does decline the penalty. They'll take it with 2 minutes and 32 seconds to go here in this fourth quarter. A quick handoff straight up the gut. This is going to be Casey Hill, and he's going to gain about 5 or 6 to about the 27. And all you're doing is running clock here if you're Oskaloosa.
And you snap the ball within 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I mean, you have
run
the clock running.
Yep.
Don't snap it with 10, 15 seconds left. And the reason I'm so passionate right now about this is it's a 21-point deficit. If it drops to 14, those 3 points that you lose, you'd hate for that to come back and bite you for the playoff
if it comes to a wild card.
Yeah.
Yep. Or even a 3-way tie,
yes,
which
exactly.
we could see in a district this competitive.
Good job. Clock's down to 5.
Howard in the gun on 2nd and 4. We'll snap it at 1. Hand it to Hill. Right up the gut. First down yardage. She's across the 30 to the 36, 37, maybe the 38. What a nice run by Hill. Move those chains, and that should all but do it here. As they'll start the clock after the sticks get set, and it'll be 1st and 10 Oskaloosa at their own 38-yard line. In the second half just really told the story of this one, Doug. They somehow survived to go in the halftime locker room tied, and now at this point in the late fourth quarter stages, scoring 3 straight touchdowns and being dominant defensively for the most part here in Mount Pleasant in the second half. They have to feel great about the way this thing's turned out.
Well, it sets up one of the biggest games in the state next week now, with Solon coming to town.
Handoff. This is going to be a new back we haven't seen tonight, as Hill came out of the game. And
Walker Newman.
Newman.
Walker been doing a great job on the JV team, averaging over 100 yards a game. He's going to be a good football player. He's a sophomore.
And you got a sophomore and a junior as your other running backs, Doug. That is a really young backfield.
Yes, it is.
Less than a minute.
I'm extremely proud of this team. I mean, as bad and sloppy as we played in the first half, we played as well in the second half. And boy,
Two different teams.
I think we found something with our line. Nathan Laubrecht, I don't know exactly what he was doing in there, but he was doing something right because the interior of our line was excellent.
Newman again on the carry ball, and he's going to be marked down at about the 38. No gain on the play, and that should be it. No, I think that's it, Doug. I don't think you're going to have to take another play.
Yeah.
It will.
It is.
Oskaloosa is going to get it done. They are going to be 35-14 winners here at Mount Pleasant at Evans Field. It did not start pretty, and it wasn't good for really the entire first half until the last minute. A huge interception by Alex DeYoung. He pitched it to Jaden Van Rukel, who went all the way down the 13-yard line in Mount Pleasant territory. Oskaloosa scored with less than a minute on the clock in the second quarter, and then just rallied from that momentum out of the halftime locker room and scored 2 quick touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the second half, and then just coasted to a 21-point win, 35-14. They moved to 3-1 on the season, 2-0 in district play, and again, as Doug mentioned, sets up a huge matchup with one of the best teams in the state in Solon to see who's going to be in the driver's seat to win this District 5 in Class 3A. We'll take a break, come back with the post-game show, and let you know exactly what is coming up the rest of the week right here on the No Coast Network.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
Mahaska County Ag and Rural Development is dedicated to the promotion and improvement of rural economies and to the development of both vision and leadership to enhance the quality of life in all Mahaska County. Recently designated as a home base Iowa community, Mahaska County and the city of Oskaloosa are now welcoming veterans and transitioning service members for career opportunities in the area. This also includes an incentives package created through Mahaska County Ag and Rural Development. For more information on how to support the Home Base Iowa initiative, contact Deanne DeGroot at 641-672-2591.
We love to help people with their smiles. Petrito Orthodontics of Ottumwa and Oskaloosa is all about creating beautiful smiles and increased self-esteem that lasts a lifetime. We specialize in creating individualized smiles by committing to make each visit a memorable experience. Our office is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to ensure optimum results. For help with your smile, call Petrito Orthodontics.
For over 30 years, Pella Printing has been leading the way in the print industry with quality equipment, modern facilities, and skilled staff. The Pella approach combines old-world craftsmanship with today's cutting-edge technology to provide brilliant printed products at a value price. They take the time to understand clients' needs from design to pre-press to printing and delivery to build lasting relationships with their customers. Whether you need personalized graduation announcements, oversized posters and banners, marketing materials, or stationery, Pella Printing offers a broad assortment of quality printed products done with speed and precision. Pella Printing, where technology and craftsmanship meet.
Dreams start early, illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in today.
Final score tonight, a fantastic 35-14 win for Oskaloosa. They move to 3-1 on the year and 2-0 in District 5 in Class 3A. That lines up a huge matchup at home for homecoming against Solon. You win that game, you are definitely in the driver's seat, not only to make the playoffs, but potentially to win this district. But first things first, let's talk about this game. First half looked horrible, second half looked great. Oskaloosa made great adjustments, came out with good energy in the second half, Doug. And I think the way you finish this game, you just have to feel really, really good about the way you responded after a horrible half of football.
You're exactly right, Emery. That second half was the best half of football that we played all year. Now, the passing game is not there yet. So something's got to change there. I'm not sure what. Maybe we can learn something, because Solon will do a lot of the same things that Mount Pleasant just did. They'll give you a big cushion. They're not going to get beat deep. So we've got to learn. We got to learn how to make the right reads and do the right thing in the passing game. But I am excited about our line play. I mean, both sides of the ball just dominating and moving Blake around was brilliant. He was always in there. It's hard to focus on him and just say, hey, when he's in the same spot, you two guys block him every time. So Oskaloosa is going into Solon doing exactly what they needed to do.
If you look at the statistics here from the second half, the total game statistics, Oskaloosa 217 yards on the ground, most of which occurred after halftime. They only had 58 at the half, and then 158 yards in the air. They only had 11 in the air in the second half, but that included a pass touchdown from Howard to Cole Henry. Once again, those guys have been hooking up quite a bit for touchdowns this season, which is good to see. Mount Pleasant, according to the stats from Jody Steinlage helping us out here in the booth, 85 passing yards for Mount Pleasant, 72 rushing yards, a total of 15 yards offense in the second half. So that just tells you what the defense did. or pick 6 from Howard on a terrible decision early in the first quarter. You can only really pin the one drive on the defense that they had in that middle of that second quarter that they went down and put up a legit touchdown. It was a good drive by Mount Pleasant, but other than that, Doug, defense was unbelievable tonight. Special teams looked good. Blom still hasn't made a kick, but they're still trusting him. He's doing a good job on the kickoffs, getting touchbacks, and overall, if you're Oskaloosa, the pass offense is really the only thing that I can think of right now that you immediately have to go to the drawing board and make adjustments for, because everything else showed up tonight.
Yeah, you're right, Emery. The passing game, we got to make some adjustments there, but you're 2-0 in district. You're 2 17-point wins. You're looking good. You got the one of the top-ranked teams in the state coming next week, and these guys, I mentioned to you earlier when the boys came home, and I was like, yeah, I heard we lost another player. They're like, big deal. Just put somebody else in there. That somebody else tonight was Nathan Lobrecht, and man, did he do a job, or somebody did in the inside.
I think they all did.
They all did. Just a fantastic job by the Indians tonight to come to Mount Pleasant and pick up a 21-point win.
Mount Pleasant falls to 2-2, 0-2 in the district. They're really up against it if they want to make the playoffs, and they're going to have to rattle off some wins and probably upset Solon later this year. But they have definitely got some work to do. Oskaloosa now 3-1 on the year, 2-0 in the district after this 35-14 win over Mount Pleasant in this ball game here tonight. And good work by the Indians as well. Scores are more presented by Bubbler, currently ongoing, so be sure to stay locked in for that. Also, be sure to check out tomorrow morning the Indian Power Hour. We'll be hearing from Cade Snakenberg, Nick Ryder, Calvin Silvers, a couple of football players on there as well. They'll be talking all things Oskaloosa, getting ready for homecoming week next week. That's at 9 a.m. here on KMZN. Then, of course, be sure tomorrow to check out William Penn football starting at 12:45 for the 1 p.m. kickoff as they take on Central Methodist in Oskaloosa. And, of course, then Iowa football takes on North Texas tomorrow afternoon on 104.9 FM KBOE. Dougie, thanks so much for giving us a big help in hand tonight, as always, here in the booth. It's always fun to hear your insight. You're kind of Eddie Podolak of the Oskaloosa Indians, and we appreciate the personality you bring up here. And this is just a great win for the Indians, and it's going to be a fun one next week against Solon.
Well, thank you, Emery, and great job to you two. I hear a lot of compliments, and also KMZN, KBOE, MCG, the coverage. But let's get everybody out to the stadium next week for homecoming. You never know, and actually these kids believe. Let's get our fans there and let's everybody believe we could have something special working here in Oskaloosa.
Absolutely. That is Doug DeCock, our fantastic color commentator tonight. For our entire crew, including our director Titus Letzring, our board operator Michael Leverton back in the No Coast Network studios, this is Emery Sunger signing off with the help of the Oskaloosa Video Production Program at Oskaloosa High School. In Oskaloosa picks up a win, 35-14, moving to 3-1 as they defeat Mount Pleasant on the road. And you heard and watched it right here on the No Coast Network.
You've been listening to Oskaloosa Indians football. Brought to you by Bank Iowa, Mahaska Drug, William Penn University, Fairway, Raymond James Financial Services, Roxburt's Decorating Center, Oskaloosa Vision Center, Swim Sports Awards and Screen Printing, Hawkeye Real Estate, Cloud Valve Company, Robert Auld Investments, Mahaska, Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, Penn Central Mall, Kelly Style Insurance, Oskaloosa Area Chamber and Development Group, Pedrito Orthodontics, and Pella Printing. This has been a presentation of the No Coast Network.